Stay Tuned Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of a drunken degenerate watching the National Football League.
And welcome everybody to Stay Tuned Sports here for this Sunday night football matchup between the Detroit Lions and the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm your boy King, hanging out with you here as we will be watching this game together, watching along, having a good time, just palling around, just having a little bit of fun, a little bit of the bants. You can come and join us in the chat room if you want to go ahead and do a little bantering with myself or with anybody else in the community. Crafty in there right now. Lloyd's in there. ELS, I'm sure, will be along as well. We'll probably have a few more people in there as well. Talking about their Sunday. How did your teams do? How did everybody do? Of course, Lloyd, he's a huge Lions fan, so he will be in there talking about his Detroit Lions and seeing how they are doing. Of course, Jimbo, big Eagles fan. Maybe he'll be in. Maybe he won't. We'll see what happens. I know he's got work tomorrow, so we'll see if he watches this game along with us. And if he does, how you doing, Jimbo? Certainly hope your team loses because I hate the goddamn Eagles. Anyway, if you like hanging out with us, if you like seeing us, if you like looking at this ugly mug, and why would you? But if you do, please hit that like button. Also, helps us out tremendously with the YouTube algorithm. If also, another thing you do very free for us, if you hit that share button, let people know we exist. Share us around friends, family, coworkers, loved ones, all those kind of things. That will help us out as well. And if this is your first time here or you've just been here a bunch of times and haven't done it yet, what are you waiting for, ladies and gentlemen? You've been here enough times. You know you want to do it. You know you want it. You know you want it so badly. You want to hit that button. You want to rub that button oh so nicely. Of course, I'm talking about the subscribe button. You can go ahead and hit that right now. And also hit that little notification bell, let you know whenever we go live and whenever a video is uploaded here on the channel. If you want to help us out in a little bit more direct fashion, we have a link for our donation station and our merch store in the top of the chat. Links are in the top of the chat and in the description below this video as well. And why does this look so big? My stats thing is never usually that big. It's usually a little bit more like that, but that's never, I don't know. It's looking weird. It looks weird. Looking weird tonight. I think I got to fix it. Either way, Lloyd in the chat says, King, do you have a chance to give me who you got winning? I picked the Lions in this game. Because the Eagles have yet to show me that they've played a full 60-minute game in any game this year, and I don't think they have. And the Lions have been able to show that. So let's see here. Okay, I think we got our little stat thing figured out here. I think it's in a good spot. But yeah, Lloyd, as far as this game on the Friday forecast, if you would have watched or paid attention, Lloyd, which we air here every Friday, I'm joking, but that's just the way to advertise, so don't worry about that. But yeah, I picked the Lions, and there's Pecan in the chat says only have to win the fourth. Go Broncos, 8 wins in a row. Talk about a team that hasn't played a full 60-minute game. Are the Broncos the worst 9-2 team in history? I said it last week they were the worst 8-2 team after they beat the Raiders. And just overlooking at they're not a good team. They're not a good team, but they're winning these games. Even Pepperjack was looking at that game and just be like, what is wrong with this team that they're always waiting to the last second or the last minute to have these big comebacks or to win the game in the last? Even she doesn't get it. Nobody gets it. Nobody understands these Denver Broncos. And listen, You are what your record says you are, so they are 9-2. But boy, this seems like a 9-2 team that, yeah, they'll make the playoffs. I think clearly at this point it looks like the Broncos, unless they have a massive, which again, the way they've played, they could absolutely have a massive collapse, and it wouldn't shock me either. But they should statistically make the playoffs. But this is a team that if they make the playoffs, boy, it feels like they're going to get just the doors blown off them in the first game they play. Whether they have a bye or whether they don't, one way or the other, this just feels like a team that's going to get the absolute doors blown off them. So yeah, as far as that goes, Pecan, yeah, I can't even tell you, Pecan. But again, my Giants didn't look bad. We looked like an actual functional football team today. We still lost. That's going to happen. What are you going to do? We have a lot of injuries, and we were starting Jameis as a backup, and we had an interim head coach, and all those things, blah blah blah. But for the first time, really, all year, I wasn't upset with how the Giants played, and I wasn't upset with the coaching. I thought the play calling was done well. I mean, defensive play calling, we still have a long way to go. Shane Bowen needs to be fired. He should have been fired with Brian Daboll. So that is what it is. Crafty says, weren't the Chiefs supposed to blow their doors off? Yes, and that's what I mean. This game was more of this was a disappointment from the Chiefs more than an achievement by the Broncos, and that's how I look at it, and that's what it feels like to me. Orange and blue every day, big Broncos fan in the chat. Sorry, Orange. I know, big day for you guys. You guys did beat the Chiefs. Congratulations on that. Take that as you will. I'm not impressed with the Denver Broncos. I'm not. And listen, it's okay. It's okay that I'm not. Everybody has their own power rankings. Everybody has their own thoughts on who belongs where with what and what team and all the other things like that. But like I'm telling you here, like we go to my vertical display here, we'll bring up the top 12 again. And again, I have the Broncos at 10. I think they'll move up a bit. I think they're going to move up a little bit. Boy, the Chargers are getting taken off this list. My God, getting blown out the way they did. The Bucks, they're going to drop. The Bucks might be off the list completely. I'm going to be honest. We'll see how everything else shakes out the rest of this way. And I should have a top 12 before Monday night because, again, Cowboys and Raiders I don't think it's going to have a huge impact on either the top 12 or the booty cheeks. So we can take a look at that. Crafty says, who are you, Nick Wright? I'm just saying, the Broncos aren't a good team. I'm sorry, the Broncos are not a good team. It's not my fault that the Broncos are a bad team. It's not my fault. I'm glad that they're having success being a bad team. They're a bad team. The Broncos in any other year would be, what, 4-6, 4-7? The Broncos any other year would be 4-7 right now. We'll see. Again, I had the Bears up there because of that was just kind of an anomaly. Because of teams I wasn't putting up there or pulling anything like that. But you see, the same thing with the Eagles. The Eagles only have 2 losses either, and they're right in the same spot. I didn't move them up after last week either because they didn't have an impressive game. So don't sit there and say like, oh, I'm just going after the Broncos. It's not that. It's not just the Broncos. And I'm not just going after the Eagles because, oh, you're a Giants fan, you hate the Eagles. It's like, no, because I'm doing the same to the Broncos. This is a legitimate, objective viewpoint that I have. I think neither the Eagles or the Broncos have played a full 60-minute game this season, and it shows. And we can talk about all the other things. We could talk about, oh, well, this stat and that stat, and, well, their defense looks great, and da-da-da. You guys you should have lost to the Jets, should have lost to the Giants. You should have went over 2 against the New York teams. Needed a miracle comeback against the Giants. Needed a miracle comeback against the Eagles with a little ref-assisted help there to get that win. Again, you barely beat a horrendous Las Vegas Raiders team. And again, now it comes here with the Chiefs, and it takes the Chiefs being unable to perform in their game. Trouble with the Redwood performing in the game. I don't I show me that you can do something. Same with the Packers. Like again, the Packers now are what? They're 6-3-1. Not a terrible record, but outside of the first game against the Lions, the Packers have looked bad. And again, with today's game with the Giants, boy, they look bad. To the point where the Giants probably should have won that game if Hyatt could actually run the route he's supposed to run. We'll see. Eagles going to get the ball first here. Crafty says the Bears have been no more impressive in their wins. Yeah, but nobody thought the Bears were going to be any good this year. So the fact that they're actually winning games that last year they were losing is impressive. That is impressive that they're able to go ahead and do that. So that's where I get a little bit of the pushback on that, because I truly do think that the Bears winning the games that they're winning is more impressive than anything the Broncos have done. I do. Now, again, that's just my opinion, and that's fine, and that's great. And I understand there's going to be Broncos fans like Orange and Blue every day in the chat there. Everybody is going to be like, well, you're just hating the Broncos. Again, I'm a New York Giants fan, so the Broncos neither fall here nor there for me. I don't have a dog in a fight when it comes to the Broncos. It's just what I observe, and we're all allowed to have that. 1st and 10 from the 35 for the Eagles. Throws and a dropped ball, incomplete by Devontae Smith there. Incomplete. 2nd and 10 coming up here for the Philadelphia Eagles. Orange and Blue every day says, I bet you didn't say this about Kenny Pickett. $14.53 after the first play. 2nd and 10. Jalen Hurts takes the snap. He surveys the field. He looks. He throws. And a dropped ball by Goddard. 2 dropped balls to start the game for the Eagles. Uh-oh. Not an auspicious start if you're the Birds. The Broad Street Birds. Kelvin Shepard holding his play sheet upside down. I'm not sure if that's a good thing or not. And that's not something to be proud about there. Orange and Blue every day says our most impressive game has been against the Titans. I rest my case as far as that goes. So here we go. 3rd and 10. Hurts. Back. Throws. It's going to be caught by A.J. Brown. 12-yard pass. First down, and the Eagles crowd go nuts because if there's anything that the crowd of Philadelphia loves, it's an asshole. They can identify with that. $14-20. Saquon in the backfield with Jalen Hurts. Trips to the right for Jalen. Kind of looked like the Eagles moved a little bit. Jalen Hurts getting pressured here. Looks, throws. That's going to be caught by Saquon. Nope, they say incomplete. Incomplete. And we have our first flag of the game. Holding on the Eagles. So that's coming all the way back. Orange and Blue every day. Your thoughts on Shedeur today? What I thought. He has moments. He can be very accurate. He can be very good. Holds on to the ball too long. I think he makes some terrible decisions with the football. Again, he's exactly what I thought he was. Pocket passer, can be accurate, can be very good, poor decision making, and sometimes holds on to the ball far too long. Hand off to Bigsby. here on 1st and 20. He gets it up to the 40, 41-yard line. It's going to be 2nd and 16. And I do feel better. I will say this too, though. I don't think the game is any different if Gabriel's in there or not. Maybe they have a better chance to win than if they had Shedeur. Shedeur had a couple of really bad that one interception deep in their own end. That might have killed them, like I said. So maybe with Dylan Gabriel, it's a little bit better. But, for the Browns, it is what it is. Whoa, 2nd and 16, well incomplete. Let's see, I was 2nd and 15. How did they say he gained that much? I didn't think he gained that much. Either way, now it's 3rd and 15 on a. I don't think it was it tipped? It didn't look like it was tipped, but no, it looks like it looks like Hurts just short-armed it. So now the second straight 3rd and long on this drive for the Eagles. Hutchinson had gotten the pressure on Hurts on that previous play. Eagles shifting around here on 3rd and 15. Hurts takes the snap. Looks. He's got time. He's got all day. Hutchinson up, and Hurts is going to get a gain of a yard. That's about it. He was going to get sacked, but he crossed the line of scrimmage. So there is no sack. I can't play the sack clip. I can't do it because he wasn't sacked. And that's going to be a punt coming up here for the Eagles on 4th and 14. Crafty says Sirianni forgot how to call run plays. I think that might be because of A.J. Brown's bitching and moaning. That could be a lot to do with that. And that was great protection for Jalen Hurts on that play. Just nobody was open. Punt is away. They're going to see how this wind, because the wind down in Philly is much like the wind in Jersey today. And Lions, I don't know what he was trying to do there. It's going to be either a loss of a yard or no gain on the return. He ran about 30 yards sideways, but that doesn't do anything for you. That doesn't do nothing for you. Jared Goff with the ball coming up after they come back from these commercial breaks. 1st and 10 for the Lions from the 14-yard line. Hey, the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile. Oh, I wish I was an Oscar Mayer wiener. That is what I'd truly love to be. For if I was an Oscar Mayer wiener, everyone would be in love with me. I do like the Oscar Mayer wieners. They're not bad. For being full of, lips and assholes, pretty good. But then again, you're talking to a guy who likes eating lips and assholes. So. Yeah. Lloyd in the chat says, let's go, Detroit. And we'll see what they do here on their first drive. Can they do any better than Jalen Hurts and the Eagles? Gonna find out. We are gonna find out. ELS in the chat room says, hey, how you doing, ELS? By the way, it had completely slipped my mind during the 1 o'clock games. I have Josh Allen as my fantasy quarterback. And on here, we can actually go. Josh Allen had 100.7 points for my fantasy team today. Holy mother monkey shit. What a game. What a game from Josh Allen. And sorry, ELS, it looks like for this one, I'm only gonna get one win out of the 3 games we played this year. But what a win. What a win. Josh Allen carrying the East Pennsylvania Coal Miners to victory. I still got Genty to play tomorrow, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because it looks like I'm going to win by just several points. So, it does matter. If Genty has negative points, I'm screwed. If Genty gets negative points, I'm screwed. Crafty says the Haley Steinfeld effect. I was going to say, it seems like these guys, you got Josh Allen, you got Travis Kelce with Taylor. Like these guys who hook up with the celebrity girls, do pretty good. They do pretty good. And listen, it's not bad when you know you got to go home and you can just rest your face right between betwixt the cheeks of Haley Steinfeld, that's going to make you score 6 touchdowns. You know what I'm saying? First and 10, 9-yard gain. Sun God with the reception there. Jimbo trying to put in now there with Spanish. Fly, Eagles fly. It looks like Unaquila che vola. Vola? I know Aquila Doro. That's the Golden Eagle here in Bayonne, New Jersey. They took over the Big Apple, bastards. Ruined it. They ruined it. Is it Italian, Spanish or Italian? Italian. Oh, you did Italiano. Oh, look at me being apparently racist with my language and not knowing what was what. First down and 10 for the Lions. They have it up at their 26-yard line. Oh, tipped and intercepted. Jared Goff had his pass tipped, intercepted, returned by the Eagles to the 11-yard line. First and 10 for the Eagles. Oh, no. Disaster class for the Lions. Davis got his hands on it there. And it looks like it was Blankenship who came up with the ball. That's why they tell you can't get the quarterback, get your hands up. And he did. Yeah, Elis, if you were here earlier, I gave my thoughts on the Broncos. No, it was DeJean. It was Cooper DeJean, one half of the exciting whites. So now the Eagles have it first and 10 from the Detroit 11. Let's see if the Eagles can punch this in or if they will mess this up. It's going to be a handoff to Barkley. No, it's going to be play action. A.J. Brown gets a yard before he is twisted down at the 10. Second and 9 coming up here. Crafty says Goof strikes again. Crafty says, hey, Justin Herbert has Madison Beer, although that didn't work out for. When you talk about Taylor Swift, and talk about Haley Steinfeld, Madison Beer she's a level or two below that. Rushed by Barkley, and he's going to get a yard. If that, he got about a half a yard. So now he got him down at about the 9. It's going to be 3rd and 8 from the 9-yard line for the Eagles. And yeah, ELS, when it came, like the Broncos, yeah, was it an impressive win? No, it's a win. But again, they needed to get at the very last minute, get a last-second field goal. It's just the same stuff. It's just bad football. It's just the Broncos are bad football. But hey, they're 9-2 bad football. So at least they can counterfeit everything up until the playoffs when they get their doors blown off. Throw incomplete. Looking for A.J. Brown on a cross pattern there. Does not get it. 4th and 8. This Detroit defense holds stiff. And the Eagles are going to bring out the field goal unit. Or last year, last second field. Yeah, but we said the same thing about the Chiefs last year that we're saying about the Broncos this year. Is that the Chiefs last year were winning games, but boy, they did not look like a 15-1 team. They ended up the season 15-2. It was like at no point in the season did you think the Chiefs were that kind of team. Kick is up, and it is good, and the Eagles take an early 3-0 lead here in Philadelphia after a Jared Goff tipped pass interception. I hate when it does that stupid thing. Crafty says Raheem Morris must be phoning in the Eagles playout. Yeah, I was going to say that's probably not good. Jimbo says, but you had the Chiefs up there all season long. And I'll say the reason why probably was because I had the Chiefs to start there. And so I was like, well, they're winning, so I didn't want to drop them. And there was really no way to really advance them. Well, look at me now. Like, it's not like I have any harboring for the Chiefs. Like, the Chiefs aren't even in the top 12, and they're not going to be now. They're 5-5. Why would they even be there? They're not. I mean, they're clearly not worthy of it. But like even last year, I think it was because of the starting position of where they were. The Broncos, they're in there, but they're not. I mean, I'm just sorry. It's the eye test. I just don't think the Broncos are that good of a team. Sorry if that is offensive to the greater football public. What do you want me to do? It's my viewpoint. It's what I have observed with these eyes, which are terrible eyes. A lot of surgeries on these eyes. I got these terrible Coke bottle glasses. Listen, these eyes aren't great. So take that as it is too. I just don't find it. By the way, question 1, Thanksgiving football on trivia. Again, every primetime game, ELS is going to give us some trivia here. When was the coldest NFL game in the history of Thanksgiving football? Thanksgiving football. Boy. Orange in the chat says, I'm screwed. I have Lamar in my fantasy team. Whoops. Coldest game. Well, it doesn't matter because it wouldn't be 1981, I don't think, because the Lions were indoors at that point. They were in Pontiac, I think, at that point. I'll say it's like 1938 or something. Like, again, I don't know. I really don't. But I'll say like it was a Lions game, 1938 or some nonsense like that. Because they started playing it in 34, I believe. 34 was the first Thanksgiving. 33 or 34. I think it was 34. I think 33 was the first season for the Lions. But because they were the Portsmouth Spartans. Then they moved to Detroit. Then they were the Detroit. Were they Detroit Spartans or they were Detroit something else? And then they became the Detroit Lions. Kickoff is not going to go really anywhere to the 20-yard line. Do the Lions go 1st and 10. From the 21, they're going to mark them at. Jimbo says 1876. That is wrong. ELS says answer 1993. Was the Cowboys-Dolphins game really the coldest one? Really? Cowboys-Dolphins was the coldest Thanksgiving game. I would have figured it was in any of the ones in Detroit in the open air that they had. 1st down and 10 is going to be a yard loss for the Lions. Zach Baugh in on a tackle. 2nd and 11 now coming up. Yeah, no shit. Yep, the coldest NFL game in Thanksgiving history was November 27th, 1993, between the Miami Dolphins and the Dallas Cowboys, which was the coldest Thanksgiving game in Dallas Cowboy history. Game had an official temperature of 32 degrees at kickoff. And Goff is going to get sacked. We got a flag. Hold on. Is this going to be an official sack? Holding is declined, so it is indeed a sack.
But too bad your ass got sacked.
I said no. There you go. I don't know why the stats went off. So now it is 3rd and a long way to go. 3rd and Cherry Hill, if you're familiar with the South Jersey references. 3rd and 16. Goff throws over the middle, looking for Amon-Ra St. Brown, but it is short, incomplete, and the Lions will have to punt. 4th and 16. I am not throwing a challenge flag. I'm just saying I was surprised by that. I was surprised that would be that. Because that was it. That was that sleet and like ice storm that they had in Dallas, where Leon. I remember watching that game on Thanksgiving with the family. We did because my sister at the time was a huge Cowboys fan. So that was we had a lot of fun making fun of her that because again at that time the Cowboys were really good. So you didn't have a. It was one of the few things you could make fun of them for. That kick is going to go down to the 30-yard line, but we have a flag down. What do we got here? Holding on the Eagles. Trotter gets the call there. So it's 10 yards from the end of the kick. So it goes from the 30 to the 20. And that'll give us the third flag of the game here in Philadelphia as they go to a break. Crafty in the chat says, Goof needs to stop golfing around. He also says, wherever I see the Eagles' defensive lineup, a voice in my head says, you are the weakest link whenever I see a Dory Jackson's face pop up. Jimbo feels the exact same way, Crafty. Jimbo feels 1,000% the same way. I haven't mentioned I love coffee. By the way, I know with the countdown, I know that the intro says, you know, Stay Tuned Sports welcomes you to this showing of a drunken degenerate watching the NFL. I was like, I honestly haven't drank in so long. I don't even know why I still have that. I should just have like a coffee addict in there or something. Question number 2 here: the number of people who attended the first NFL Thanksgiving football game. It's 30. I think 30. I think the reason it got big because people were questioning whether or not it would work when the Lions first wanted to do it, and they did it, and it ended up working. Like it got like something like 35,000 or something. I'll say that. I'll say 35,000 range, and anywhere between those two numbers. So if it's like 35,001, I'll be wrong. If it's 29,999, I'm wrong. I'll say somewhere between 30 and 35,000. I think that'll be my answer. Pecan says 35,001. The answer actually what Jimbo said 38,000. First he said 500, then he said 38,000. The actual answer is 26,000 fans saw the game at the University of Detroit Stadium. Game was a sellout, and it's estimated that another 25,000 people would have attended if there were more seats available. So yeah, that's when everybody realized, hey, this Thanksgiving football game, people like it. People like Thanksgiving football, and yes, we do. Still to this day, we love watching the Lions lose on Thanksgiving. It's a tradition unlike any other. Pitch out here to Barkley, and that's going to be a first down for the Eagles. That's going to be up to near, the 35-yard line. Yeah, it's close. 34-yard line, they say. So first and 10 for the Eagles. From the 34. Goddard in motion. Hurts. Play action to Barkley. He looks. He throws. That's going to be caught for about 6 or 7 yards. Goddard with the reception. Crafty said people who had nothing to be thankful for filled the stadium in droves. I think you're thankful you got tickets to go see the Lions, especially in those depression days. You know what I mean? Hand off to, I believe that's Barkley. And it's going to be 3rd and 1. A lot of Thanksgiving trivia. Next week will be the week before Thanksgiving. And just to let you guys know, I will be at family during Thanksgiving, so please enjoy your Thanksgiving as well. Enjoy with your family, with your friends, whatever that case may be. And Barkley's going to lose 2 yards on 3rd and 1. And it's going to be 4th and 3. They're going to say generously 4th and 2 for the Eagles. Do they go for it? Do they go for it on 4th and 2, or will they punt the ball away? Crafty says, well, we know what's coming. Let's see. I don't know. That's a long way. And here we go. They are going to punt the ball away. Kajumi Kaiju in the chat says, go Lions. Caught at the 12-yard line and then immediately brought down by Johnny Ringo. I'll be a huckleberry. And so the Lions, again, starting deep in their own territory. First of all, I like anybody with the name Kaiju in their name. We're automatically going to be friends. We're going to be friends. As I'm kind of a Godzilla nut. So great to have you in here, Kajumi Kaiju. And I certainly hope that you have a great time as we're watching along here with the Detroit Lions taking on the Philadelphia Eagles. Detroit now has the ball at their own, they're going to call it 11-yard line. So we will see what happens here. Question 3 here on Sunday Night Football Trivia, brought to you by ELS. He says, this was not a part of the first Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. Those would be the balloons, the floats. They weren't there. They stole my, well, the floats. The floats mean the actual things on the vehicles. The balloons, however, the balloons were not there. So they had floats, but they didn't have balloons. The big old balloons were not there. No, they had floats. They didn't have balloons. Floats and balloons are not the same thing. I love when Ringo said, I got plenty of friends, when Doc Holliday replied, dude, Tombstone, I almost said Unforgiven. But Unforgiven's another great one, too. Those early 90s Westerns, man, don't get the credit I think they deserve, especially compared to maybe some of the older ones. But, man, Tombstone and Unforgiven, especially 2 of them right out there, are super, super, super good. Crafty is saying Santa. They didn't have Santa. Pecan says no Snoopy. Jimbo agrees with me. He says no balloons. Yeah, that's it. They didn't have the balloons. That didn't come until, I think it was the year after or 2 years after they started doing the balloons, and then obviously the balloons have been there ever since. And ELS has provided us with the answers, and it is indeed balloons. Who stole my balloons? Why did everybody tell me he had one of those things? Bob Gunn. So here we go. The Lions preparing to start their 3rd drive. Again, deep in their own end from the 12-yard line. I don't know why this one thing says the 11, but it is the 12. Going to be a handoff to Jameson Williams, and he's going to get a gain of 9 yards on that play. Yeah, I knew Crafty. I know Crafty would know what I was talking about. Crafty said, Unforgiven and Tombstone simultaneously revitalized and killed the Western genre because nothing that came after could ever live up to them. I was going to say, It's so good. They were just so good. And Kevin Costner tried to come out with his Wyatt Earp movie, and it just didn't do anything. First down for the Lions, gain of 5 yards. Lane Johnson is limping back to the locker room for the Eagles. That'll be a huge loss on the offensive line if they cannot get him back. Oh, no. That is indeed Lane Johnson heading down the tunnel, Crafty. 4:25 remaining here in the first quarter. Goff throws to Montgomery, and Montgomery is going to get the first down. Move the sticks. First down and 10 from the 37-yard line. Goff throws. That's going to be complete. Jameson Williams again as they now go into Eagles territory. First and 10 from the Eagles' 44-yard line. Lions finally moving the ball here. So first and 10. Was kind of a direct snap there to Montgomery. He gets 2 yards or so. As Goff was lined up as the halfback there. Yeah, Sam Laporta, he was also my fantasy tight end. He's on injured reserve, out for at least the next 4 games. So not great. Second and 8 from the Eagles 42. Goff is in shotgun. Takes the snap. Looks. Throws at the feet of Wright, number 89 at tight end. So now it'll be 3rd and 8 for the Detroit Lions. I don't mind doing this. I just thought we might have done it for Thursday since it's a week from Thanksgiving, and I won't be here for Thanksgiving. So I don't think I'm going to be able to do the Black Friday game either because I'm going to be up at the folks, at the parents. Handoff to Montgomery, and that's going to be good for 2 yards. That's about it. So it's going to be 4th and 6 upcoming from the Eagles' 40-yard line. Dan Campbell sitting on the sidelines there. What is he going to do? Is he going to go for it? Is he going to kick a field goal? Net wind, I doubt it. Do you punt it? It looks like the Lions are going to do what the Lions do, and they were going to go for it, but we have a lineman down for the Lions. The Lions put their athletic supporters out there. Tate Ratledge is the injured Detroit Lion, so we will see how long it takes and then see what the Lions decide to do when they come back here. Aaron Rodgers may have a slight break in his left wrist. The Steelers are concerned that he might have a slight break in his left wrist, and he was going to go into for further testing on Monday. Oh, no. By the way, ELS is question number 4 here for Sunday Night Football Trivia here on Stay Tuned Sports, brought to you by our good friend ELS. This world-famous dance team is the staple of any Thanksgiving Day parade, and I believe we all know who that is. Ladies and gentlemen, that would be the Radio City Rockettes. Best legs in the business. All coordinated, all in sync, and all just some of the best gams in the history of entertainment and showbiz. On Broadway, baby. Best gams on Broadway. Gotta love the Rockettes. From Pittsburgh, the initial concern is that Steelers quarterback Aaron Rodgers has a slight break in his left non-throwing wrist. This comes from Adam Schefter, as was told to him by sources. The quarterback will undergo further testing on Monday to determine what the full extent of the injury and how long he'll be sidelined. Rodgers did not return to Sunday's 34-12 victory over the Cincinnati Bengals after sustaining the injury to his wrist late in the second quarter. Rodgers was initially declared to have only a hand injury, but Steelers coach Mike Tomlin said afterwards that Rodgers hurt his wrist. He'll be further evaluated on Monday. He was excited about the win, said Tomlin. I just talked to him, but that's all we talked about. We didn't talk about the injury. We talked just about the significance of the win. That is some big news. By the way, 4th and 6, Lions are going to go for it. It looks like they were just going to try to draw them off sides. It did not happen. It looks like they'll take the delay of game penalty, and they will just move on from that. The answer to question number 4, says ELS, is indeed the Rockettes. Eagles, fair catch at the 15-yard line, and that is where they will take over on their next drive. There you go. There's the Rockettes there. Look at them gams. Look at those gams. They got great gams. I'm a big fan of the Rockettes. I wonder why. I'm a leg man, too. Oh, no. Grew up watching them. ELS letting us know that Michael Penix Jr. is believed to have aggravated the same knee injury as he did earlier in the year. So that's something to keep an eye on there. And if hey, you know, when you think about it, it's a good thing that the Falcons did not trade Kirk Cousins there. Barkley gets the carry here on first down. He's going to get 4 to 5 yards, apparently, from what it looks like. It'll be 2nd and 5? 2nd and 5? Or 2nd and long 6? They're going to say 2nd and 5 for the Eagles. Sticking with the Falcons, wide receiver Drake London left Sunday's game with a knee injury. However, it is not believed to be a major or serious knee injury. He could miss some time, but we will find out more tomorrow after tests. Hand off to Barkley again. This time did not go as well. That's going to be a loss of 3 yards, 4 yards. 3 yards. 3rd and 8 is going to be that call there where they spot it down at the Philadelphia 17-yard line. 3rd and 8. And that's going to be the end of the first quarter. So we'll start the second quarter with the Eagles facing a 3rd and 8 from their own 17-yard line. But the first quarter ends with the Eagles beating the Detroit Lions 3-0 live from Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia off of Broad Street there, right next to the, Comcast Live. Got all that nice stuff going on there. By the way, ELS telling us Shedeur Sanders' stats in his NFL debut, which started in the second half. Dylan Gabriel was in concussion protocol, so he did not come back into the game. Shedeur Sanders was 4 of 16. 4 of 16 for 47 yards and 1 pick. A very costly pick. Just saying. There's a reason why the kid wasn't starting yet. Just going to say that. ELS in the chat says, question 5 here for your Sunday Night Football trivia, brought to you by our good friend ELS. Giant character balloons made their debut appearance in what year of the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade? Giant character balloons made their debut in what year for the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade? And as with kind of my default for anything around this time of the year, I'll say 1933. Why? Because it just seems to fit. That's when the Eagles came into existence, the Steelers came into existence, and when I think just a lot of people started doing shit. I don't know why. There's a depression. Everybody's like, well, what else are we going to do? Fill this shit up with air and make them float. So I'll go 33 just because it feels like everything's going to be 33 at this point. Mark Andrews, by the way, is now the Baltimore Ravens all-time receiving yards leader. There's one Cowboy fan there. I love the Philadelphia Mint. They got one Cowboys bitch right in the middle. She just says, I ain't part of these creatures. Did everybody else leave the chat? It feels like everybody else just left the chat. It's just me and you, ALS. We're just hanging out. Thrown on 3rd and 8, and they're going to say incomplete. Hit the ground. Devontae Smith was unable to come up with the catch. So 4th and 8, and the Eagles are going to have to punt yet again. ELS has given us the answer to question number 5, which was, of course, giant character balloons made their debut appearance in what year for the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade? And the answer is 1927. I think it was a giant-ass clown. I think the clown was like the first real big one. And the kick is away, and Detroit's going to get this ball back. Bear caught all the way the hell out of bounds. That's going to come up to about the 43 to 45 yard line. Or they say 39. I don't understand that one, but okay. ELS says apparently there was an NHL game in Sweden today. Well, again, the NHL is the big problem with the NHL is marketing problem. They need to hire away NFL's marketing department and get them to work for them. Hand off to Gibbs. He's going to get it down to the 45-yard line. 2nd and 4 upcoming here. Jimbo in the chat says, I really hope that this game doesn't come down to a field goal. The way it's kind of looking right now, Jimbo, we'll see. Is this going to be another one of those 10-6 games, 10-9 games, some dumb shit like that? Could be. Could be. Goff takes the snap here. It's going to be a handoff to Gibbs again, and Gibbs is going to slice and dice his way for about 2.5 yards. Going to be third and a very long one. I don't know how they're marking that as a 1 yard. I think it looks more like 2 to me, personally. Again, it's just with these old ICs, how I say I don't think the Broncos are very impressive. The way I say that doesn't look like that's a 3rd and 1. That looks like it's a 3rd and 2 to me. But what do I know? I'm just some fat bastard in Jersey. Actually, no, the way they marked it, it is 3rd and 1. Never mind. They hand it off to Gibbs, and it looks like he slipped. It looks like he slipped and then was just there at behind there, and it's going to be 4th and 1. And the Lions are just going to go right up, and they're going to go for it again. Hand off again, and I don't think he got there. I don't think he got there. And that's a turnover on downs. Yep. Not close. Not even close. So turnover on downs. Eagles get the ball at the Lions' 48-yard line. Now, can the Eagles do something with this field position? We'll find out after we see a dog driving a car next to a Wienermobile, which had me singing the Oscar Mayer Wiener song before. Which I also like, Oscar Mayer fried bologna sandwich. Gabagool. My bologna has a first name. It's O-S-C-A-R. My bologna has a second name. It's M-A-Y-E-R. Stop with the gabagooing. Stop with your gabagool language. Stop with your jibber jabbering there, Jimbo. Jimbo with his fly eagle fly in Italian, which I think in Italian fly eagle fly is a fly, a eagle, a fly, a ga. King, that is horribly ethnocentrist and just completely offensive to all of the Italians and Italian Americans out there. Yeah, I know. Bit of a defensive battle here, a little bit of a defensive struggle between the Lions and the Eagles. By the way, oh yeah, I thought Jimbo, I thought Brock Purdy coming back that was going to be bad. Oh, it was going to be bad for the Niners for him doing that. It was going to be bad. Oh, Brock Purdy. Oh, it's going to be. They should have just kept on starting Mac Jones. Everybody's talking about. Oh, they just should have had Mac Jones. Why are they going to put Brock Purdy back in there? Oh my God. 133.5 passer rating, 200 passing yards, and 3 passing touchdowns for Brock Purdy. And his return, I kind of bought into it a little bit too. I ended up picking the Cardinals in that game, and turned out, well, I was wrong. Oh. So 13:02 here, remaining in the second quarter. Eagles from the Lions, 48. Play action. Hurts looking for a deep ball. Where is that going? That was closer to me than to any other receivers on the field. Incomplete, 2nd and 10. Jimbo in the chat says, in response to the Brock Purdy comments I made, yeah, because he had McCaffrey and Kittle take one of those away. And he's Jordan Love. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Nobody's as bad as Jordan Love, let's be honest. Hi, ELS. We're just messing with you. 12:55 remaining here on 2nd and 10. Another pass down the field. Oh, he had Goddard, but it was underthrown. And also back into the left. Back into the left. Back into the left. So incomplete. Jalen, that elite quarterback status of Jalen Hurts. 3rd and 10 upcoming. And again, Jalen Hurts way off target for Devontae Smith. And the Philadelphia fans are letting their frustrations with Jalen Hurts and his accuracy, or lack thereof, be known. As the Philadelphia Eagles are going to be forced to punt the ball away. They had 1st and 10 from the Detroit 48. They gained not a single centimeter, as it is now 4th and 10, and they will be punting away. Jimbo says should have been defensive holding. Fair catch called for, and then, boy, Raymond really had a struggle with that one. Again, that wins there at the link. Similar to what the Giants and Packers had to deal with. Oh, we got a flag. We got a flag down. What's the flaggy? It's going to be personal foul face mask on the Eagles, from what it looks like. I gotta brush your shoulders off. "15-yard penalty from the end of the catch there against the Eagles. Trotter, that's his 2nd penalty of the game. 15-yard face mask. That's a big one. That's a big old penalty. So now the Lions have it up. Because he goes up at the 21, so that's about the 36 is where they're going to be. 35, 36-yard line. 1st down for the Lions. Upcoming here. You're going to call it at the 35. Eli said, what did I miss? I went to make sure. Oh, we're just making fun of Jordan Love and how he's a terrible quarterback. That's all. ELS, question 6 here on Sunday Night Football Trivia, brought to you by your good friend ELS. He says, a typical American will consume this many grams of fat on Thanksgiving. Your mom. Ha ha. Your mom. We're eating your mom because she's fat, you see. Ha ha. Handoff to Montgomery. Good for about 4 yards on that particular carry. 2nd and 6 upcoming for the Lions. How many grams of fat will typical American consume on Thanksgiving? Well, considering the turkey and the gravy and any other possible trimmings, cheeses and fat, there's, butter and all that other stuff. You take all those fats, put it together, throw them to the tight end right, and that's going to be good for about 2 yards, I want to say. So 3rd and 4. Actually, they say it was good for 4 yards, so 3rd and 2 upcoming from the 43. I'll say 80 grams of fat because that sounds large. It sounds small, but it's not. It's a lot. 80 grams will probably fucking kill you. So I don't know. I have no sense of proportion. I'm a disgrace to my uniform. 3rd and 2. Goff in shotgun takes the snap. He looks, throws over the middle, and in and out of the hands of Amon-Ra St. Brown. And that's going to be another punt. Oh, my God, do we have another one of these games? How is it in the last 2 weeks of NFL primetime games, the most entertaining primetime game so far had the goddamn Jets in it? The rest of these games, Thursday night's game between the Patriots and, they do a fake, and it doesn't work. The Lions did a direct snap trying to fake the punt, and it goes nowhere. And the Eagles, again, get the ball. It's going to be at the 45-yard line, roughly. Yeah, 44-yard line. So the Eagles, 1st down and 10 from the 44-yard line. ALS says the answer is 229 grams. How are we not all fucking dead from heart attacks and just clotted arteries? Holy shit. Well, because it's one day. And that's what it's supposed to be. The problem is there are people out there, not just in America, boy, if you've been to Scotland, you'd know what I'm talking about, who just eat that level of fat or more every day. Jimbo says, got to get a touchdown here, stop passing and start running. Wear this defense down. I got to tell you, it seems like the Eagles are running with the A.J. Brown plan and saying, hey, listen, you're complaining, you're not getting, you say, hey, we'll pass it to you. The problem is we don't have a quarterback that's worth passing the ball. So, sorry, A.J. Brown. Because right now, Jalen Hurts is not, I mean, it's not right now. Jalen Hurts has never been that good of a quarterback, but he's really not doing well now. And I kind of agree with you on that one, Jimbo. Run the ball. You got to run the ball at this point because passing it's not going to get you anywhere. Question 7. This food was not served at the first Thanksgiving. This food was not served at the first Thanksgiving. Well, we don't know exactly what was or wasn't. And I'm sure the answer is going to be turkey, but I'm pretty sure turkey was around. People, the Native Americans, the Wampanoag, and like the other tribes of that area, and obviously Squanto, who was helping them out. They were eating turkey. They did have turkey there. Wild turkey was around. And wild turkey was around. Whoa, yeah, that makes for a good Thanksgiving. So I bet you the answer is probably going to be turkey, but I actually think there was, again, we don't know exactly sure what it was. Clearly, I don't think pumpkin pie wasn't there. We know that. Like, we know for sure pumpkin pie was not there. Or as they probably would have called it then, pumpkin pie. We know pumpkin pie was not there. Jimbo says, yes, we know what they ate. I was there. I do. I was there. Do you ever have those dreams where it feels like you're like astral projecting, like you're physically like in a different dimension? Maybe you time travel like when you dream. I don't know. Barkley, he does a little spinny, spawny spooneroonie, and that's going to get him 8 yards on first down to the 35-yard line. 2nd and 2 upcoming here for the Eagles. Jimbo's answer was tacos. I don't think tacos are a traditional Thanksgiving meal. They might be. Nowadays, somebody can always start their own tradition. They very well could. ELS says the answer is turkey, but again, I throw a challenge flag on that because we don't really know. Barkley gets the handoff and a gain of 3 yards on 2nd and 2, and that's going to move the chains. First down, Eagles. Because I think you would consider pumpkin pie to be a traditional Thanksgiving food, and that wasn't served at the first Thanksgiving. And that's what I mean. And you're not even that specific in the question. The question says this food was not served at the first Thanksgiving. Well, that could be anything. Jello was not served at the first Thanksgiving. Creme brulee was not served. Doc à l'orange was not served. Hot dogs and hamburgers, incomplete pass on 1st and 10. As the fans still are jeering Jalen Hurts and his inability to throw a football. Hurts currently, is that right? Hold on. 3 for 12 for 21 yards, Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is 3 for 12 for 21 yards passing. Holy monkey shit. Are you kidding me? Devontae Smith in motion. Hurts going to throw. Gets it to A.J. Brown, but that's going to be a loss of yardage on the play. They're lucky to only get a -1 yard on that. So it's 3rd and 11 now from the 33-yard line of Detroit. Elias says, I blame the question maker. Yeah, Elias, I know you're getting the question from somewhere, so I don't blame you. I'm just saying the logic of the question is flawed. Pecan says Jalen Hurts is almost as good as Shedeur Sanders at this point. Yeah. Hurts is going to pull it down and run it himself, and he's going to get it down. Did they not? Was he not down? Did a knee not go down? I guess not. We'll take a look at it. But it looks like that's going to be a 1st and 10 from the 16. Let's see. Hit, he bounced, got up, and then knee down. He is down, he is down, he is down. So it's still good enough for a 1st down, but his knee was down at the 21. I thought it might have not been a 1st down. Damn. Hand off to Barkley. He's going to get a good gain of about 4 yards on that play. 2nd and 6. Uh-oh. Crikey. I see a wild pepper jack here. Hey, Pepper Jack. How you doing, baby? How's my Pepper Jack? Oh, we're already at milk time? Pepper Jack loves herself a nice, tall glass of cold milk here at night. And who doesn't? Milk is delicious. Oh. Something fell. Oh, no. And oh, no, the Eagles with a big loss there. Anzalone. Galbago, the Italian stallion, Anzalone. Boy, oh, God, he super is Italian, isn't he? He's got the nose. He's got the long blonde hair. Jesus. And that's going to be a big loss there. 3rd and 15 now for the Eagles. I'll fix it. I'll fix it later. I know, I'll fix it. Fix it. I will fix it. I love you, Pepper Jack. Mwah. 3rd and 15 now for the Eagles, back at the 26-yard line. Throws over the middle to A.J. Brown. That's going to be caught, but it's only going to be good. It's going to be short. 4th and 5 is what it looks like now at the Detroit 16. Are the Eagles going to settle for a field goal, or are they going to go for it? Looks like Sirianni's going to go for it. Let's see what happens here. We are ticking down. 6:28, 6:27, 6:26 here in the second quarter. Thank you, ELS. I just did a little. It was a little spruce up. It was just a little spruce up. That's all. So here we go. 4th and 5. Eagles look like they're just trying to get him to go off, and they just wanted to get him off, and they didn't get him off. Oh no, they edged him, but didn't get him off all the way, and so the Eagles take a timeout, and it looks like they're going to settle for the field goal. So Eagles get their first time out. Oh my God, Pink is at the game? I don't care. Pete Davidson, who gives a shit? Isn't he a Jets fan? But yes, thank you, ELS. I did work on it a little bit. I thought it could use a little sprucing, and I think it looks nice. It's sleek. It's still sleek and slim. Very nice. So here we go. 34-yard attempt here. Snap, hold, kick is up, and it's going to be good. And with that, the Eagles take a 6-0 lead over the Detroit Lions. The Philadelphia Eagles take the lead over the Lions, 6-0, which, the way this game has been going, might just be enough to win this game. However, again, remember we were talking about, oh, King, you're not nice to the Broncos. You say the Broncos aren't doing good, and you're not impressed by the Broncos. Not impressed by the Eagles right now either. What do you want me to say? Also, not impressed by the Lions, what they're doing. So let's be honest. So the way this game is going, it is what it is. But again, what have the Eagles shown? The Eagles haven't shown anything. The Lions have not shown anything in this game either. The Lions are definitely having an off game here. Question 8 here from ELS on our Sunday night football trivia. Brought to you by your good friend ELS. He says the name of the Native American tribe that celebrated the first Thanksgiving with the Pilgrims. Again, I think it was the Wampanoag. I want to say it was the Wampanoag. It could have been the Massachusetts Indians, but I think it was the Wampanoag. So that's my answer. My answer is the Wampanoag. But I've been saying that all night anyway when we were talking about it. You know, like, oh yeah, the Wampanoag, yeah, the Wampanoag, yeah, the Wampanoag. So it would be dumb for me to not say Wampanoag now if it was the Wampanoag. Crafty says the Wampa what? Wampanoag. Wampanoag. Crafty says the Squantoans. The Squantonons. Did you just mix Squanto and Croatoan together, Crafty, to come up with that one? I know if Lloyd was in here answering, he'd just say, "It's the Redskins. It's the Redskins that's who they were." Crafty says, "Sounds like a novelty doo-wop song from the 1950s." Listen, the 50s had some groups. There might have been a group called, Jimmy Snacks and the Wampanoags. You never know. Could have been. If it's Squanto, did you just mix Squanto and the Croatoans? And Crafty says, well, and if I did. I'm just saying, it's very, very ingenious. Very ingenious. By the way, the answer was indeed the Wampanoag tribe. They celebrated there with the Pilgrims on that first Thanksgiving, having kept it. Boy, I bet you want to talk about list of regrets, probably. Whoops. ELS says that I am currently leading the trivia. I think I'm the only one playing the trivia. So 1st and 10 for the Lions from the 26. Play action. Goff throws over the middle. That looks like that was tipped at the line. Incomplete. 2nd and 10. Lions can get nothing going. Absolutely nothing going on here for the Detroit Lions. Goff here on 2nd and 10. Throws, and he finally got Amon-Ra St. Brown for a huge gain to the Eagles' 40-yard line. 1st down, Lions, as they are now in Eagles territory. Woo! Finally, Detroit got something going. ELS letting us know, by the way, Bryce Young broke Cam Newton's old record of 432 for most passing yards in a single game in the Panthers' history. Okay. I don't know how you're supposed to word that, ELS, but yeah, Bryce Young had 432 yards or 448 passing yards today. Yeah, you got to. That's a bad sentence structure. Goff throws over the middle, and it's caught. 20, 10, 5, touchdown, Detroit Lions. Jamison Williams. And we have a tie game, 6-6. But yes, okay, let me try to read this again. Bryce Young broke Cam Newton's old record for most passing yards in a single game in Panthers history today when Bryce Young threw for 448 yards. The old record, which was held by Cam Newton, was 432. It's okay, ELS, it's not your fault, because I know you just copy and pasting, so I know it's not you writing that down. Unsportsmanlike conduct on the Lions, as you saw, Jamison Williams went and I saw him as soon as he was going in to hug the goalpost. I was like, oh, they're going to call him for that one. And indeed they did. But the Lions are on the board. It just makes the extra point super far away. And with the wind whipping around there, we just might have a tie game here. So you can't do that kind of stuff, Jamison Williams. Because now the extra point goes, it's going to be like a 40-something yard extra point here now. It's going to be a 48-yard field goal here for the extra point. Snap, hold, kick is up, and that is no good, and we're tied because Jamison Williams had to go and hug the goddamn goalpost like a fucking moron. Yeah, that's your fault. That's your fault, number one. You cost the Lions the lead. Dumb. What a dumb move from a dumb individual. And Jamison Williams screws up. And so we only have a tie game here, 6-6. People in the Rubber Room Discord talking about, I'm watching Purdue basketball right now. This game is ass. Nah, it's not true. I'm watching from my computer, yeah. Jimbo in the chat says, very good player, but immature. Very good player. Yeah, absolutely. Clearly, you could see that. But dumb. Dumb. When are some of these players going to realize, hey, guys, don't be dumb. Like, it's the little mistakes. It's the little dumb mistakes that these guys make. It's what are you doing? And it's all like just every now dropping the ball before the goal line, getting a penalty when you're not supposed to. Do it like doing the penalty that you know is a penalty. You know that jumping on the goalpost and sliding down it is a penalty. You're not in an Atlanta strip club. Oh, we got some pushing and shoving here. You're not in an Atlanta strip club. There's no reason to just slide down a pole. You scored a touchdown. Dance, spike the ball. The NFL let you do everything you want. Basically, just don't make little pew-pew noises and gestures, and don't slide down the goddamn pole. That's it. That's it. That's all you got to do. Just dumb. Just dumb. So here we go. 1st and 10 for the Eagles from the 36. Thrown. Caught. That's going to be A.J. Brown. Caught. That's going to be good for 8 yards. 2nd and 2 upcoming here for the Eagles. Throw caught. That's going to be good for 4 yards and a 1st down for the Eagles. Kylan Granson with the reception there. So now from the 49-yard line. Crafty says the Lions are lionizing. Barkley, he's going to get a gain of about 4, I want to say. That looks to be about a 2nd and 6 upcoming. 2nd and 6, 2nd and 5, something like that. 2nd and 5 is going to be the official mark that the officials give it. Throw, that's going to be caught. Jahan Dotson gets it just a yard past the 1st down marker, but it's good enough for a 1st down. Moves the chains. 1st down, Eagles down at the Detroit 37-yard line. Loins. Oh, the lines are loinsening. Oh, see, I read it. See, I did the reading. I read it too quick, and I didn't read it right. See? Thank you. Oh, fumble. Bad snap. Saquon able to jump on that ball. Saves a disaster for the Eagles. Oh, it wasn't a bad snap. It was just a bad exchange. Okay, so it was supposed to be like a read option, apparently. And Saquon just knocked it out of Jalen Hurts' hands. Boy. Bigsby in. And he's going to get a big gain here. Down to the 22 of the Lions. Up 22 of the Lions. You know what that means. There she is. There's our gorgeous. How are you doing, gorgeous? Great to see you. Great to see you. Glad that you could join us on this lovely, lovely Sunday night, Taylor. And we're at the 2-minute warning with the Eagles having a 1st and 10 at the Lions 22. I think they're officially trying to say it's the 23. Too late. I said 22. It's Taylor. Just look at it, man. Them legs, that hip, that butt talks. It's pretty good. Pretty good. That's all I'm going to say. All I'm going to say. Jimbo says no cares about her. That's just patently false, Jimbo. How dare you? Crafty in the chat says Bigsby eyeing Barkley's job. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Crafty says Barkley looks like he's complaining about a hand injury. Was it hand or back? It looked like he might have been saying something about his back too. I don't know. But and I'm not sure. Let me check. I know. I think I saw you post something, but I was, I'm me. So Oh, about your Green Bay team beating Minnesota somehow, some way. The Phoenix. Boy, Minnesota can't hit a goddamn free throw, can they? Oh my God. Minnesota, how is Minnesota unable to hit free? Oh my God. Oh my God. And then the one-handed kiss off the glass. Did Minnesota win with the half court shot? Are you kidding me? Oh, ELS, that sucks. I did. I just saw the clip. Wow, that's first of all, Minnesota. How can Minnesota not hit free throws, but they can hit a half court goddamn shot? Two-minute warning coming out of it here. Hand off to Bigsby. Going to be a gain of about 7. 2nd and 3 coming up from the Detroit 16. By the way, question 9 from Sunday Night Football Trivia here, presented by your good friend ELS. This town canceled Thanksgiving because they could not make pumpkin pie. I have no idea. Can they still not make it? What was the reason for them not being able to make it? Like, that's what I mean. These questions, from where you're getting them from, the people who wrote these questions need to be smacked very hard in the face, preferably with a pumpkin pie. Hurts on 2nd and 3, throws over the middle. Is that going to be caught? It indeed looks like it, down to the 6-yard line. 1st and goal, Eagles. Answer, Colchester, Connecticut. Like, who the fuck would know that? Yeah. Handoff here to Barkley. Did he get there or is he short? They're going to say he's a touchdown. I don't know about that. But for a first half that had nothing, all of a sudden the last 2 drives end in touchdowns. By the way, the town of Colchester, this is the story behind it, by the way. The town of Colchester, Connecticut postponed its 1705. So this is before America. 1705 Thanksgiving celebration for a week because of molasses shortage that prevented them from making 705. I think he's down before he's. This is what I mean. I was early on a touchdown. Well, they're going to take a look at it, and so we'll wait and see. Yeah, no, people were doing still Thanksgiving is basically like a harvest festival. Okay, so that's why. So that's it. Thanksgiving was kind of just a harvest festival back in the day. Even so that's why 1705 it was still it was still on the last Thursday in November, November 26, 1705. Yeah, the town of Colchester, the Connecticut River froze. They couldn't get the molasses to make the pumpkin pie, so they said, "Can't have Thanksgiving without pumpkin pie." And postponed it for a week so they can get their molasses. No, Elias, you're right. I mean, the question was right. I was just confused by it, and the question was worded a little confusingly, but I don't think it sucks ass. That's right. Plus, the good thing about this, ELS, the good thing about this is we're learning stuff here. We're learning things. And if there's one thing we can always say about Stay Tuned Sports, we're educational. We are for the children. Stay Tuned Sports is definitely not for the children. Do not have your children watch this show in any way, shape, or form. However, we're learning stuff. We're having an educational moment, probably more educational than anything that's happened in the United States public school system in the last 25 to 30 years. So, again, we're making progress here, ELS. We're doing good work. We're doing good work. Like what we're doing here. So let's see what happens with this. They're saying Saquon was down. Yes, he was indeed down about 3 inches before the goal line, but he was short. Jimbo says, we teach life lessons. Yes, we do. We teach educational lessons, but we also teach life lessons for the books and for the streets. So this looks to be like this is going to be another touchdown merchant opportunity for Jalen Hurts as they do a tush push. There's some flags there for being offsides. And they don't throw any flags, of course not, even though the Eagles were clearly offsides. Clearly offsides. Look at how early they moved. Oh, my God. So the Eagles lining up for the extra point here to make it 13-6. Snap, hold, kick is up, and that's going to be right through. 13-6, the Philadelphia Eagles lead with 16 seconds remaining here in the second quarter. Jimbo says, clearly. I'm glad that you're able to agree with us, Jimbo, and see how terrible the offsides is when it comes to the Eagles and the tush push. ELS is the more ELS hangs around us, the more ELS I feel like is losing his mind. It feels like ELS is losing his grip on reality and sanity the longer he spends with us here on Stay Tuned Sports. And I don't know that's a good thing. I don't know that's a good thing. But ELS in the chat says, King, I got a good song for the Eagles. Fuck the tush push of the Eagles. Not sure how that's, but hey, listen. In the world of AI, you can make songs like that now, so. Jimbo, again, using the Italian to talk about the Philadelphia Eagles. Hila says, I lost my mind in week 6. Of all the things in life I've lost, I miss my mind the most. Said by the recently departed Ozzy Osbourne. Great quote, by the way. And that kick's going to go all the way for a touchback. Going to get out to 35, but 16 seconds left. Detroit does have all 3 timeouts, by the way. But I don't know if they're going to try to do for it. Look, Dan Campbell's got the headphones off. It looks like they're just going to kneel this and go into halftime. I'll get to that in uno momento. And they are indeed going to kneel on this ball. They do. We have reached halftime, ladies and gentlemen. Detroit will get the ball first in the second half. The Eagles lead 13-6 at halftime here of Sunday Night Football at Lincoln Financial Field. off of Broad Street in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Thank you so much for joining us here on Stay Tuned Sports. My name is King. If you liked any part of this broadcast so far, and why would you? Outside of the educational part that ELS is providing us in the chat, which you can come and join, it is open. Come in, say hi, say hello, say how you doing, join the community, participate in the trivia. Put your mind to use. See if you can use some of that mind. Whoa. You want to do that because you can also use Dubby to go ahead and get that neuro factor. No sugar, no jitter, you don't get the blah, 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 you don't get any of that. It doesn't have any artificial colors or flavors or any of that junk in it that you get from the other energy drinks. It's just vitamins, it's neuro factor, and it's completely and utterly sugar-free. You can go to dubby.gg right now. I think they still have like the sample pack there where you can try all the different flavors they have, and they have many great, delicious flavors that you can try. But you can go ahead and go over to w.gg, pick out what you want. When you're checking out, put the code ST Sports. When you're checking out, you're going to get 10% off your first order there at Dubby. So go to w.gg, put in the code ST Sports, and get 10% off of your first order because you need that energy. And you don't want to be drinking that nasty bull piss. You know which one I'm talking about. You don't want any of that. So there you go. Go to w.gg and, again, enter the code ST Sports. Get 10% off your first order. Dubby, be better. Question 10 here in the chat for Sunday Night Football Trivia, brought to you by your good friend ELS. The number of women that were at the first Thanksgiving celebration. None! Women were not allowed at the table. How dare they? How dare they think they could sit there and eat amongst the men? How dare they? I might have been actually none, but I don't know. I'll say none simply because it seems appropriate of the time for these people. I don't know. So my answer is none. I'm going to look it up because I put my answer as none. If it's changed, it's changed. I can't do anything about that. By the way, apparently, I don't know if that's right or wrong. Right now, from what I'm seeing, is there was 4 women who cooked for the first Thanksgiving, but apparently 5 women attended. There were 5 women who survived the harsh winter of 1620, 1621 and attended the first Thanksgiving. Susanna White, Eleanor Billington, Elizabeth Hopkins, Mary Brewster, and Catherine Carver. There also were 5 teenage girls there who survived the winter: Mary Chilton, Constance Hopkins, Priscilla Mullins, Elizabeth Tilley, and Dorothy, an unnamed maidservant. Historical accounts do not mention any of the Wampanoag women or children attending the feast. Oh, yeah, no, Jimbo got half. I give Jimbo the points because the official answer, I guess, was 4. But I'm just saying, because I looked at it. First of all, I was surprised that it wasn't 0, to tell you the truth. Gretchen says, by the way, how did Jimbo know that? That was as obvious a cheat as his team's tush push. Crafty is always the one that gets me to break. Crafty always gets you to break, and I don't know why, because it's the silliest stuff, but he always gets me to do it. God, Bo Nix is terrible. The Broncos are terrible, but they're 9-2, so they're terrible 9-2. You'd rather be a terrible 9-2 than a terrible 2-9 like the Giants. By the way, the Eagles did not allow a third or fourth down conversion in the first half. Why is there a communist parade happening in Philadelphia? Did anybody notice just all the Bolshevik banners going? What the hell is that? That's the birthplace of America. Get those commie marching band assholes out of here. We don't need any of that shit, comrade. Bring that shit to Red Square in Putin. Bunch of commie bastards. Crafty says, I was about to ask the same thing. I'm glad I'm not the only one who noticed. I heard the drum beat, and I was like, oh, they must be doing some kind of marching band thing. I look over. It's the parade of the Soviets. What the hell are we doing? Jesus Christ, Crafty. Oh, did I miss it? Oh, the Grey Cup was today. The Grey Cup of the Canadian Football League. This is the last year of the traditional Canadian rules, by the way. They're changing the field. They're taking away the 55-yard line. It's just going to be a straight 100-yard field, just like we have here in the United States. And they're shortening the end zones from 20 yards to 15 yards. They're getting rid of the rouge for all intents and purposes. So this is the last Grey Cup of the traditional Canadian Football League. And it is the Saskatchewan Roughriders who have come out on top and are your 2025 Canadian Football League Grey Cup champions, the 112th champions of the Grey Cup. Congratulations to the Saskatchewan Roughriders of the Canadian Football League. Pecan, is that the only quote you know from that movie? Yes, Crafty, I mentioned that a little earlier in the stream as well. Aaron Rodgers feared to have a fracture in his left non-throwing wrist. They're going to do more tests on Monday to find out for sure, but that is the fear right now. ELS says, flag on Philadelphia for being a terrible place to live, 50-yard penalty. I love Unhinged ELS. Unhinged ELS is just incredible. It's one of the most fun things. By the way, that's not going to help things. Travis Kelce did break the Kansas City team record for most total touchdowns in the game where they lost to the Broncos earlier today, but then he declined to speak with the media afterwards. That's not going to help people's view of him. And dry white toast. Pecan on the chat. Bring me 4 fried chickens and a Coke. And dry white toast, please. That's such a great. I got to watch it again. It's been about a year, 2 years since I watched that. I try to watch it every so often. It's just a great movie. It's just a great movie. So, got to watch that again. That I got to watch again. Lebowski. It's been a while since I watched Lebowski. Got to get, You got to get the old standards in there too. Sometimes you like to watch new movies, clearly, but you got to get the old standards in there. So you got to watch that. Got to watch Lebowski. Got to watch Blues Brothers. I didn't watch Killer Clowns this year. Maybe I'll do that later. I don't know. Should have gotten it, but didn't. Yes, ELS. Hey, ELS. You're getting it. ELS knew that was the Blues Brothers. There you go. We're working. See, ELS, you're coming in here. You're getting smarter. You're getting more in tune with the pop culture that was around long before that. Yeah. Crafty says Lebowski's on TCM it's on Turner Classic Movies. If only I had cable. Too poor to have cable. Great movie though. You want a toe? I get you a toe. All right, give me a second. I'm gonna go get myself a nice cup of coffee, and I will be right back. ELS says my mom told me about that movie. Ah, see. Your mother is a woman of taste, I see. Very nice, ELS. Very nice. Let me go get a cup of coffee. I'm going to be right back here as we're getting ready for the second half to begin. The Detroit Lions trailing the Eagles 6-13 here on Sunday Night Football. Can they make a comeback? We're going to find out with their first drive of the second half. That's actually very true, Crafty. Crafty in the chat says King's doing a great impersonation of the Chargers offense today. Boy, that's a surprise. I don't think it's as much a surprise as the Dolphins beating the shit out of the Bills last week. Seeing what the Bills did to the Buccaneers this week, it's like, where was that Bills team? But yeah, the Jaguars just crushing the Chargers. Even though it was in Duval, like, again, who saw that coming? I didn't. Kickoff goes into the end zone for a touchback. Lions ball at the 35. Nick Sirianni saying, oh, I'm a douchebag. Douchebag. Douche. Yes, Melissa Stark asking, why do you think everybody thinks you're a douchebag? Well, because I think I'm a pretty good douchebag, Melissa. I really work hard on it. I really look like a douchebag, especially with wearing this beanie hat. Like, I really look like I'm a drug addict over there in Kensington, you know what I'm saying? So I just, just a kind of an asshole. Thank you very much, Coach. 1st and 10, Goff throws out of the backfield. That's going to be Gibbs, and he's got room to run out to about the 50. First down, Lions. Jaguars did not punt at all today, says ELS, and I mean, yeah, no, I wouldn't think so. Lane Johnson is officially out, by the way. Philadelphia Eagles just posted that 30 seconds ago. Lane Johnson out for the game. Gibbs again with the reception, and he's going to get another first down. 11-yard gain, first down. Lions down all the way to the Philadelphia 37-yard line. Crafty says this game about to heat up, maybe. That's the thing. If the Lions start hitting on some of these passes, looks like they're doing pretty well, gaining a couple yards here. 2 straight first downs. If the Eagles can maintain how they played at the end of the half there and get their offense going, moving, possibly, maybe this game is not a boring watching flies fuck fest. Goff is in shotgun. It's going to be a handoff to Gibbs. And that's going to be good for a yard. So a little less than his last 2 plays that were passes out of the backfield. 2nd and 9 from the 36. Lloyd in the chat, our resident Lions fan, says, yep, can't stand it right now, but hopefully the Lions can start turning it around. Second and 9, Goff throws. That's going to be caught. Stays in bounds. Good for about 5 yards. Right, the tight ends, number 89 with the reception. They're going to say 4 yards. So 3rd and 5 upcoming from the 32 for the Lions. Crafty in the chat says, today was a disaster class for the Chiefs. Not only losing the game to Denver, but also 2 teams with potential wildcard tiebreakers over them, being both the Jaguars and the Bills, came up big today. Very true. Very true. Third and 5. Goff throws. Oh, he had Amon-Ra St. Brown, but could not connect. 4th and 5. Will the Lions go for it again, or will they go for the field goal? It looks like there's no choice here from Dan Campbell. Of course not. Now with old Danny Campbell there, it's going to be 4th and 5, and of course they're going to go for it. Play clock at 5, at 4, at 3, at 2, at 1. Lions just get the playoff. 4th and 5. Goff throws over the middle and dropped. Jameson Williams had it go through his hands, incomplete, and the Lions turn the ball over on down. It's the 3rd turnover on downs for the game for the Lions. And the Eagles still have not given up a 3rd or 4th down conversion in this game so far. Yikes. Pecan in the chat says, Joe Burrow can just take the rest of the season off now. Yes, he can. No need to rush back. No need to try to injure that turf toe even more. Just sit in the tub, Joe. Sit in the tub. Maybe go to some more of those fashion shows or do whatever there in Paris. In la France, look at me. My suit has no back on it. I am Joe Burrow. ELS in the chat says, if the Chiefs don't win next week, Kansas City is not going to make the playoffs. Being 5-6, they'd have to win out just to be 11-6, and I don't know if 11-6. I mean, it could get you in the playoffs, but again, as Crafty brought up, they would be trailing the Jaguars and Bills with having the tiebreaker against them. So it's, I mean, I think they're in a real bad spot as it is already. The Chiefs. The Chiefs are in a spot that they're not used to within the Mahomes era. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Maybe they can pull it out. Maybe they can squeak into the playoffs. And if they can, they'll be dangerous. But if they can get there, that's going to be the question. Question 11 coming up here from ELS in our Sunday Night Football Trivia, brought to you by your good friend ELS. This percentage of Americans actually eat turkey on Thanksgiving. 83%. I'll say 83%, give or take a percent. ELS says, I think the Colts, is that who they're playing? They're playing the Colts coming off a bye? That's a big test for the Colts, too. That is a bit, because everybody's like, well, the Colts didn't really play anybody. But here's the thing now, too, that's unfortunate. Now, even if the Colts beat Kansas City, people are going to say, well, Kansas City's not that good this year. So I think the Colts can't win for losing at that point. But I still say I like the Colts. I'll go with you. I probably think the Colts can win that game. And, boy, if they win that game, I think you're 1,000. I mean, if it's not panic time in Kansas City yet, boy, it'll be panic time 1,000% after that game if they lose to Daniel Jones, Jonathan Taylor, and the Indianapolis Colts. The answer ELS has put up there is 88% of Americans eat turkey on Thanksgiving. Jimbo missed by 10%. Crafty missed by a whole hell of a lot. Pecan had 85, and I said 83, so Pecan technically was the closest. First and 10. Saquon Barkley takes the carry there, and good for 4 yards. 2nd and 6 upcoming. I mean, turkey's fantastic. It is a just delicious, delectable meat when made right. Crafty says, chance for the... I think it's too early to say they're putting a dagger anywhere, Crafty. I think it's way too... Especially the Eagles, and the way they played this year, nothing is a dagger for them. Barkley is going to be about a yard short of the first down, 3rd and 1 coming up. Yeah, Pecan gets that. With his 85%, he was within 3% of the actual answer. He wins. So, here we go. Tush push time. And they're going to say full start on the Eagles. They finally got him. Yeah, they got him. Yeah, they finally got him. Why is it? Yeah, what is he doing? He's touching his hair. You can't do that. I don't care if you think it's a bad call or a good call. That's what you get for having all the other calls happen. Yeah. Screw you, Eagles. Screw you. Good. Screw them. 3rd and 5 coming up for the Eagles. They're probably going to convert anyway. Hurts back. Looking. Throws. Deep ball. Incomplete. Granson was the intended receiver, and it's going to be 4th and 5. Jimbo saying bad call. No, that's karmic justice, Jimbo. That's what that is. That is karma coming back around, step by step, from town to town, as Taylor would say. And since we mentioned her, there she is. Taylor knows all about karma. Karma's coming. Ironically, no. Listen, from a completely neutral standpoint, yeah, it was a neutral zone infraction. That should have been a penalty on Detroit. But cosmic karma happening here. Delay a game on the Eagles. Irish in the chat says, I didn't get points in the last game for being closest. I had negative 1 billion points. So the kick is away here. Fair catch caught at the 26, and that is where the Lions will take over. Jimbo says, dude lined up offsides, and our lineman was touching him to draw the flag. And he did draw the flag, Jimbo. He did draw it, but it was against him because he's moving. As the offense, you can't move. You have to wait. Why is he touching? You can't. He's sitting there touching a guy in a neutral zone, but that doesn't matter because now you're the offense and you're touching the guy. Even if he's in the neutral zone, now you're moving as the offensive lineman. That's offsides. Can't do that. You'd have to wait for the ball to be snapped for it to be a neutral zone infraction. The ball wasn't snapped. The offensive lineman was moving before the snap. Therefore, that's offsides on the Eagles. So technically, really, if you want to talk about it, that is against the Eagles. Also, I don't care if it's technically right or wrong. I don't give a shit. That's what the Eagles get for getting away with every other offsides on every other tush push they've done since the start of time. So, fuck them. Question 12 here from ELS Thanksgiving for $200, of course, here on the Sunday night football trivia brought to you by your good friend ELS. Americans prepare this many turkeys each and every Thanksgiving. I will say 300 million turkeys. Because I think a lot of households also do the 2 turkeys. So I think you probably have at least 150 million households making turkeys. Some of them you double up. So okay, I'll change. Okay, I'll change my answer. 250 million turkeys are made on Thanksgiving. That's what I'll say. Not 300. I'll say 250, give or take 10 million. Crafty says 152.8 million. Really getting it down to the nitty gritty on that one. Jimbo says 3.5 million. It just makes me so happy to see the Eagles get screwed on the tush push. It just makes me so happy. Pecan says 251. You Bill Barker and Price is Right and son of a bitch, you. 10:30 in the third quarter. Goff under center here from the 28-yard line. Handoff to Montgomery. Montgomery gets about 5 or 6 yards. Hey, give him 6. 2nd and 4 coming up. Jalen Hurts is 9 of 19 for 63. Jesus Christ. A late quarterback play. Goff throws to Gibbs out of the backfield. Good for a first down and more. Down to the 50. Down to the 40. To the 35. To the 30. He's still going. To the 25. Down at the 24 of the Eagles. First down, Lions. Gibbs has really been the explosive playmaker here for the Lions tonight. Usually by sale receipts and records, Crafty, you can tell just by record how many people buy a turkey. You go, that's how many people are what people are preparing for a turkey that particular week. Answer's only 46 million. Get the funk out of here. Get the funk out of my face. Get the funk out of my face. Gain of 2 yards on 1st and 10. Down to the Philadelphia 22. There she is. That's the favorite part of the broadcast for me and Pecan. Like that's really Taylor's really only there for 2 people, me and Pecan. That's the only reason she keeps on popping up here. It's just because me and Pecan just would rather really have it no other way. Second and 8 coming up here for the Lions. Hand off to Gibbs, and that's going to be good for 1, 2, 3, 4, about 5 yards. And indeed it is. 5 yards. 3rd and 3 upcoming. From the Philadelphia 17-yard line. ELS says Jimbo was Jimbo actually closest? Oh, shit. Yeah, he was. God damn. Pecan says, hail Chief Redwood. Again, he became the Chiefs' all-time touchdown scorer today, but they lost, so he didn't talk to the media. So, I mean, kind of a bitch move. 3rd and 4, Goff in shotgun. It's going to be a handoff, and it's good for a first down to the 9-yard line. 1st and goal. Detroit Lions. 7:30 remaining here in the 3rd quarter. Lions looking to tie this game up. They could have the lead if Jameson Williams didn't decide to do a stripper routine down the goalpost, which gets you a penalty. We've all seen Antonio Brown do it. Throw, call, that's going to be caught by that same Jameson Williams at the 5-yard line. 2nd and goal upcoming from the 5. Second and goal. Handoff to Gibbs. Gibbs. Oh, he gets popped right as he was getting into the hole. Giggity, that's what she said. But only a gain of 2 yards. Gets it down to the 4-yard line. 3rd and goal for the Lions. Can they punch this in? Or will it be another Eagles defensive stop here? Will the Lions go for it again on 4th down? If it comes to it, or they kick the field goal to make it a 13-9 game. Let's see what happens. Play clock at 10. Goff in shotgun. Man in motion, handoff to Gibbs, and no gain. No gain. And now it's 4th and goal from the 4. And the Lions are going to send out the field goal unit. They're going to say, nope. Or are they? No, they're not sending out the field goal unit. Trips to the right. Goff takes the snap, looks, gets pressured, throws, incomplete. He was looking for Amon-Ra St. Brown. And it's another Lions possession that ends in no points. They've gone for it on 5 4th downs and have made none. At some point, you got to go for the points. If you've gone for the points on at least some of these, you're talking about that you might be, you might even have the lead at this point. My God. But it's another turnover on downs, and it's going to be the Eagles' ball, 1st and 10 from their own 3. Unbelievable. Jimbo is loving Google Translate right now. Jimbo, all about the Google Translate. By the way, question 13, and we all know whose favorite number 13 is. There she is. Yeah. By the way, yeah, I noticed that's cut off. Maybe I'm going to move her. We're going to move old Taylor here. Let's move Taylor off to, yeah, there we go. That's a little better. Now it's not as jarring. But question number 13 from ELS here on Sunday Night Football Trivia, brought to you by your good friend ELS. This city's Thanksgiving Day parade ends with Santa Claus getting a key to the city. That's interesting. I don't know. Los Angeles? I'll say Los Angeles. I don't know. Oh, I didn't fix the timeouts. That's right. So 1st and 10 for the Eagles from their own 3 throws. Did not make it. Incomplete. 2nd and 10 from their own 3. I meant to fix that during halftime, and of course I was too busy getting coffee at halftime. Like an idiot. Like a dork. So there we go. Eagles got their 3rd timeout back. All 3. Everything's good. Everything's fine. Thank you, Jimbo, for pointing that out. And I didn't change the quarter. Yeah, I came right back. You're right. Oh, God. It's all falling apart. End it. We have to end it. We have to end the stream. It's terrible. Oh, no. Jalen Hurts running for his life. Throws it out of the back of the end zone, and he completes it. And we got a flag down. What's the flag for? Branch looks like he hurt his leg. Are you? I don't think it was. They're gonna say it's a helmet to helmet. I don't know. I think that's a questionable call. I think that's a Jimbo says that's an elite pass right there. That was a desperation pass that he was lucky this guy was able to grab. Crafty saying, you're telling us that Branch has snapped. You might say that's a broken branch. Detroit, by the way, was the answer for the city that gives Santa a key to the city at the end of every Thanksgiving Day parade they held. So 1st and 10 from the 47 of Detroit. Barkley breaks it out to the outside, gets about a 7-yard gain. The only 6, they say. 2nd and 4 upcoming for the Eagles. Second and 4 for the Eagles. Play action. Oh, Hurts looks. Oh, boy. He just gets swallowed up. And that is a sack for the Lions. A big one. Big, huge, throbbing sack.
But too bad your ass got sacked.
And it does look like Hurts was a little. He slipped on the Eagle logo paint. Which makes sense because that's a terrible, awful logo. ELS, you're weird. Unless you're a weirdo. Yeah, we've been sponsored by Grandma's Monkeys and now the Milwaukee Mustangs, a defunct team that was somewhere. I don't know, is the IFL team. So 3rd and 15 now. A big pass to nobody. Does Jalen Hurts. Brown is pissed. Oh, boy. Here comes the temper tantrum from A.J. Brown. Strap in, folks. It's going to be a big one. It's going to be a big one. This one could be a 7.2, maybe even a 7.5 on the little bitch scale for A.J. Brown. And it's going to be 4th and 15 and a punt coming up here for the Eagles from their own 48-yard line. The old Arena Football League. Oh, yeah, the Milwaukee Mustangs. I remember them. Now I remember them. It was a big M with a horse running through it. Caught at the 10. Returned up to about the 14. So the Lions are going to get the ball again. Let's see if they can get to the end zone this time. They've already given up, I want to say 9 to 12 points in field goals for not going for points on some of these drives. Instead, opting going for it all to get to the end zone or get a first down, and boy, it just has not worked for them. So I think there needs to be a little bit change of game plan here for Detroit. Again, I think working Gibbs between the 20s, working very well. I think maybe when you get down into that 10-yard line, 7-yard line, 5-yard line situation, maybe hand it off to Montgomery. He seems to be a little bit more of the bruising back. Maybe do that. I think we'll see. But we'll see. We'll see what happens here with the Lions. Again, they're only down a touchdown and an extra point. So we will see. Question 14 coming up here on Sunday Night Football Trivia, brought to you by your good friend DLS. This city is home to the oldest Thanksgiving parade. Now, again, your mind instantly goes, it's got to be New York, right? It's got to be Macy's Day. The Macy's Day parade. That's got to be the oldest Thanksgiving Day parade. And it may be, but I don't know. I know New York has the oldest St. Patrick's Day. But I was going to say it feels like something in Massachusetts would have it. Whether it's Boston, whether it's Plymouth, actually Plymouth or Quincy, like one of the smaller towns there, something like that. It feels like it would be something like that. But I'll go for the general area of eastern Massachusetts there, the Boston area. I feels like that's probably where it would be. So I'm going to go with Boston. Crafty says Boston. Pecan says Boston. We're all kind of in a consensus here. We'll see if Jimbo's still with us, if he'll say Boston, or if he decides to say something else. Watch it end up being the Macy's Day Parade in New York. I'll lose my shit. Jared Goff, under pressure, only 1 for 6 with 40 yards, but he does have a touchdown. On 3rd and 4th downs, 0 for 5, and he's been pressured on 4 of the 5 dropbacks. So that tells you everything you know. First and 10 from, they give him all the way to the 15. So 1st and 10 from the 15. I thought it was only the 14. Goff looks, throws, incomplete. Looking for Amon-Ra St. Brown. Unable to get that connection working today between Goff and St. Brown. By the way, the answer to the question was not Boston, was not New York. It was indeed Philadelphia. Apparently has the oldest continuously run Thanksgiving Day parade in America, according to ELS and the questions that he's reading. Goff looks, throws again, incomplete. Blankenship thought he might have had an interception, but he did not. And again, it's going to be 3rd and 10 for the Lions. Looks like it could have been pass interference, but no flag was thrown. By the way, indeed, the oldest Thanksgiving Day parade in America is the Philadelphia Thanksgiving Day Parade, which first took place in 1920. Started by the Gimbel Brothers department store, the parade originally featured elaborate floats, huge balloons, marching bands, and concluded with Santa Claus entering the store to announce the official arrival of the Christmas season. 3rd and 10. It's thrown out of the backfield to Gibbs, and Gibbs is going to be explosive. He gets it to the 40 and gets it to the 50. Close to the 50, at least, to the 48-yard line, and 1st and 10 Lions. Gibbs has been the only thing working for the Lions this entire game. Truly, truly putting in work. .205 remaining here in the third quarter. It's going to be a pitch back to Montgomery. Montgomery looking to get to the outside, and he's going to get 7 yards, 7 hard yards. He's got a hard 7 right there. And it's going to be 2nd and 3 for Detroit. They are in Eagles territory right now. Yeah, Twitter is of much the same when it comes to Gibbs, man. Gibbs is doing something. Throw on 2nd and 3. Looking for right was Goff, and that play looked kind of janky from the start. Ends up incomplete. 3rd and 3. Coffee burp. Have to get to the 42-yard line for a first down. Do the Lions. Goff takes the snap. Looks, throws. That is batted at the line of scrimmage. Incomplete. 4th and 3. Again for the Lions. And it feels like Dan Campbell just doing what Dan Campbell is doing in this game. He said, fuck it. Punter is not coming out on this field for anything. The Lions are just going to go for it. 4th and 3. Let's see if the Lions can convert a 4th down, for the love of God. Play clock at 5, at 4, 3, 2, 1. Play clock is at 0, but they get it off. Goff looks, throws to nobody in particular, looking for Amon-Ra St. Brown, and it doesn't connect. How many times are you going to do that? Well, you realize it's not working with Amon-Ra. Stop trying to force it, because it's either overthrown or thrown behind him, or the defense is just too there. You're not getting the ball to him. Get it to Gibbs, get it to Montgomery, get it to somebody else that's actually working, trying to get the ball to Amon-Ra St. Brown. And not only that, it was a bad pass. Either it was a miscommunication, a poorly run route, or Goff just threw it in the wrong goddamn place. But that's, again, the Lions are shooting themselves in the foot in this game. And with 1:15 remaining in the third quarter, the Eagles have the ball at their own 45-yard line. Jimbo in the chat says, fly, Eagles fly. And Jimbo, you understand what that means? That's a 10-second timeout for you. DLS says Dan Campbell's big balls failed him for the 5th time today. Again, the problem is the longer you do it and miss it, now you're putting yourself into such a position that you have to go for it more subsequently. Like it's a self-feeding loop. You keep on missing the early 4th downs. Now you're putting yourself in a position where you kind of have to go for them if you get into this kind of an area in the game. And now that we're going to be entering into the 4th quarter now, like every possession is going to be a 4-down territory. Barkley out of the backfield catches that on 2nd and 10, That's going to be good for 7. We have a flag down, though. Jimbo says, I'll go back to speed. Low block. Personal foul on the Eagles. 15-yard penalty, so move them back. Jimbo, he says, I'm going to go back to speaking French. Go back to French or Italian or German. Like I said, you did the international ones. It was fine. You do English. You get put in Italian. You know how it goes. You know how it goes, Jimbo. You know the rules. Everybody gets one. Pecan says it's a matter of pride now. It really is at this point. Crafty in the chat says Goff, or in his case, Goof, is trying to outdo Herbert for a Dud of the Day award. Although, no, because listen, Goff is 13 of 26, a touchdown. He does have a pick that really kind of wasn't his fault, and 228 yards. It's not, like, he's not. It's not a great game, but not a terrible game. It's he's throwing at a 50% clip, so you'd wish it was better. But it is what it is. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we have hit the fourth quarter. Get the fours up, because as we are every single game right here on Stay Tuned Sports, we're here not for 1, not for 2, not for 3. We're just like the players on the sidelines. When you see they go to the fourth quarter, you see the players put up the fours. Everybody starts putting the fours up. Coaches put the fours up. This is why we put the fours up, because we are here for all 4 quarters. So get it up in the chat. Get it up outside. Get it up in front of your family and friends. Just get it up however you can and get those fours up. ALS with a bunch of 4s. Pecan with the 4. Crafty with his emoji 4. See? Crafty knows. Crafty knows. I say get the 4s up any way you can. He goes in every way that you can. And we're going to see what happens here with a 2nd and 18 coming up here for the Eagles from their own 37-yard line. Jimbo, he's got his, that's either French or Italian quatre up in the chat there. So we've got some bilingual 4s up in the chat. Crafty has the number 4 and up. 4's up. There you go. See, look at that. Question number 15 here on Sunday Night Football Trivia, brought to you by your good friend DLS. The month and year the first Thanksgiving feast was held. Month and year the first Thanksgiving feast was held. I'll say it was April of 1621. April of 1621 is going to be my guess, because I think it was they came out of that bad winter. They lost a lot of people, but there still were some people there, and so they had a day of Thanksgiving, thanking the Lord their God that they did not die like their fellow colonists did. And with the help of Squanto and the fellow Wampanoags, they were able to survive. And so they invited their Native American friends, their Indian friends, their American Indian friends, whatever name you want to use for them, or just their Wampanoag friends, to come along and say thank you. And for that we shall have a feast, thanking the Lord for having saved us from certain death, in which some people did certainly die. So no thanking of them. Pecan says April of 1622. He has it as a year later from 1621. They're showing the Betsy Ross house there. So here we go. Start of the fourth quarter. Hurts in shotgun. Takes the snap. Does Hurts. Getting pressure. He's going to pull it down and run. Goes towards the sidelines. And he is out of bounds. And now he's down. And Hurts is a little slow to get up. And now Hurts is pushing people. What a bitch. What a little bitch boy. ELS says November? Why would you have a feast before winter? I thought they had it afterwards. No, it was. Yeah, no, it was it was because it was more of a harvest festival than anything, and they didn't call it a Thanksgiving. They just called it a harvest festival. Hurts, looks, throws. Is that going to be connected? They're saying it is a catch on 3rd and 11 by A.J. Brown, but it's short. It's going to be 4th and 2 for the Eagles. Oh, but we have a flag down. Holding on the Lions, so that's going to be 5 yards and an automatic first. So the Eagles will take that penalty. And so it's not a catch by A.J. Brown, but it's only a 5-yard penalty, but it is a fresh set of downs. Instead of being 4th and 2, it's 1st and 10. 1st and 10 from their own 49. Eagles approaching midfield. Nah, ELS, I won't take the half points on that because I got it wrong. I did get it wrong. 1st and 10. Actually, from the 48.5-yard line, really. Hand off to Saquon, and he's going to run to his left, and we've got another flag down. And this looks like it's going to be in the area of holding. Ten-yard penalty on the Eagles. And that's going to get us to 12. Boy, this game is really starting to bog down with some penalties here. Mailata. I know it's like Malata, whatever, but I call it, it's M-A-I-L. Mailata. Mailata. Mailata letter. Oh. 10:49 p.m. here on the East Coast. Going to hand off to Bigsby here. He's going to get it to the 45 of the Eagles. And that's going to make it 2nd and 14 upcoming here. Can the Lions get the Eagles off the field, and can they do something with the football? For God's sake, somebody throw a pie. Irish in the chat says, every time Barkley makes a positive play, there's a flag. Thrown, caught by Devontae Smith. He had to really climb the ladder to get that one because it was another highly inaccurate and bad throw by the poor quarterback play of Jalen Hurts. So that's going to be 3rd down and 6 upcoming. Ow, itchy nose. Ah. Ow. .12:08 and counting remaining here in the 4th quarter. 3rd and 6 from the Lions' 47-yard line. Hurts takes the snap. He's going to pull it down and run it himself, and he's going to get the 1st down and more as he gets to... Oh, and he's torn down to the ground by Anzalone. It's going to be a 1st down. Eagles, though, as they have converted, as Hurts used the only thing that is working for him tonight, his legs, because it certainly is not his arm or accuracy as a quarterback. Jalen Hurts looking much better as a running back than as a quarterback, that is for sure. So 1st and 10 for the Eagles from the Lions' 36-yard line. Empty backfield for the Eagles. Shotgun for Hurts. He steps back, getting pressured, looks, just tosses a ball up. He was looking for Barkley, but again, wholly inaccurate. Threw that closer to the parabolic Mike man on the sidelines rather than to Saquon Barkley. 2nd and 10. By the way, Darius Butler on Twitter says, I'm starting to see people starting to spell 16's name wrong again. Speaking of Jared Goff. Just letting you know, I don't like it. I'm just seeing it. I think he's addressing you on that one there, Crafty. 2nd and 10. Hurts getting pressured. Looks just and throws it away. Incomplete. 3rd and 10 for the Eagles. Ow, I got a booger in my nose, and it's bothering me. People are going to think I'm a coke addict. King, don't pick your nose. I'm not. It's just there's something in there, and it's itchy, and it's bothering me. Third, 10, throws. A.J. Brown catches it, but it's going to be 4 yards short of the first down. So 4th and 4 upcoming from the Detroit 30-yard line. It's within field goal range, and it would make it a 2-possession game if the Eagles get this field goal. It'll be a 10-point lead. Going to be a 49-yard field goal attempt in some windy conditions. Snap, hold, kick is up, and it's good. And it is now, that might be the dagger, as it is now a 2-possession game. And the Lions just can't get out of their own way, and now they're going to have 2 possessions of trying to score. Eagles 16, Lions 6. I'll say this. Much like the Broncos, the defense is playing well, but I don't know how much of this is defense and how much this is the offense of the opposing team just being utterly and completely inept in this particular game. Same thing happened with the Broncos and Chiefs. Like Mahomes did not play well at all in that game, but hey, you know what? I do like defensive football. I'm a defense guy, so you got to give credit where credit is due. The Philadelphia defense has played well in this game, as did the Broncos in their Chiefs game. So we'll see where they land on the top 12 power rankings when the countdown rankings come out. Booty Cheeks 5, that's going to be interesting. We're going to see where that goes. Question 16 coming up here from ELS on our Sunday Night Football Trivia, brought to you by our good friend ELS. These are the names of the 2 turkeys President Biden pardoned in 2022. Epstein and Hillary? Political humor. No politics. No politics on this channel. Last time we had politics on this channel, everybody lost their goddamn minds and we lost the follower. So, I have no idea, and I couldn't even, knowing that particular president at the time, it might have been named and I don't know. I don't know what the names were. I don't know. Brandon Perna on Twitter posting that if you're talking shit about Bo Nix, you're a coward. And this comes from a Broncos player. Is that Troutman? I'm sorry. Bo Nix is terrible. How about that? That calls me a coward? Fine. That's fine. ELS says the answer was chocolate. Hey, man. I like chocolate. I like chocolate chips. Hey, well, whatever. But you know what, man? I think we'll name the one chocolate. And we'll name the one chip. I think that'll be cool, man. Whatever. Well, anyway. That kick's going to be returned. What is that? To about the 27, 28-yard line there? 28, they say. 28-yard line, 1st and 10 for the Lions. Handoff here. That's going to be Gibbs. And again, Gibbs gets 11 yards, 1st down. He's been really the only thing on Detroit that's been working tonight. Thank you, ELS. I'll check that out. 1st and 10. Goff is going to look, throws, incomplete. That should be intentional grounding. It might be. And we have an injured lineman. He's kind of hopping around there. No flag. Yeah, no flag for intentional grounding. 2nd and 10. Goff looks, throws, low throw to Amon-Ra. It's incomplete. It's not working with Amon-Ra St. Brown. It's not working. You'd stop smacking your head into that brick wall. 3rd and 10. I mean, Jared Goff is outperforming Jalen Hurts by 20 miles. Oh, he's doing better than a mile. He's outperforming him not just by a mile. He's outperforming him by 20. You can't see how much he's outperforming Jalen Hurts over the horizon. But it's just, and again he goes to St. Brown, and again it's incomplete. And now here's the problem. The Lions are facing a 4th and 10 deep in their own territory. It's 9:16 left to go in the game, and now they have to punt because they're too deep in their own end. They're on their own 39-yard. Listen, the Lions aren't even my team, and they're frustrating the shit out of me. I don't know what. Is Dan Campbell still calling the plays? Was Dan Campbell calling the plays today, or did they have somebody else call? Did they go back to the offense? Because if they did that, ball goes out of bounds. There was a couple of people touching each other there. It looks like a Lion got pushed into the Eagle, and then it was a mad scramble for the ball, but it goes out of bounds, going sideways, and that's going to be 1st and 10 for the Eagles. I think Lloyd, a lot like you were early on in the Giants-Packers game. You were not in the chat a lot for the Giants-Packers game, ELS. So I think Lloyd is kind of doing that too. He's focused on the game. He's focusing on his team, and I'm sure he's not feeling great right now because he's seeing his team kind of bumblefuck shit up to the point where, again, I'm not a Lions fan, but I'm getting upset watching them play because it's like, what are you doing? It's frustrating me. I'm not even a fan of you guys, but you guys are frustrating the shit out of me. It's bad. It's real bad. It's real bad. It's real bad. Real bad. Question 17 from ELS here on our Sunday Night Football Trivia, brought to you by ELS, your good friend ELS. The first president to ever pardon a turkey, I believe that was, I think it was Eisenhower. I think Eisenhower pardoned the turkey first, didn't he? Eagles on 1st and 10. Throw it to Goddard, and that's going to be good enough for a first down as they go up to the 32-yard line and first down. Pecan said Roosevelt. Jimbo guessed Nixon. I had guessed Eisenhower, and ELS says the first president to pardon the turkey was John Fitzgerald. I fucked Marilyn Monroe and really anything else that moved. Kennedy. Barkley, he's going to get it to what, the 39, 40-yard line? It's going to be 2nd and 3? 2nd and 3, indeed, from the 39-yard line. And by the way, ELS, your answer is wrong. We're all wrong here. The first president to pardon the turkey is often cited as Harry S. Truman, who was the first to receive a turkey from the National Turkey Federation in 1947. However, there is some debate, with some attributing it to the first informal reprieve to Abraham Lincoln's son and the first Thanksgiving turkey pardon to John F. Kennedy in 1963. The modern tradition of an official pardon was formalized by George H.W. Bush in 1989. So there's a couple different answers for this. One is kind of apocryphal, if you want to look at it that way, whether or not it was Lincoln's son to have done that. But the first one to actually pardon a turkey and say, yeah, we're not going to kill this turkey, was Harry Truman in 1947. Kennedy also did it in 1963, but it was first kind of made an official pardon and done like that as part of like a cool ceremony by the first George W. Bush, H.W. Bush in 1989. Tush push here on 3rd and 1 for the Eagles, and I don't think he got it. And he did not. That's going to be short, 4th and 1. And I would just imagine the Eagles will do that again. And again, if the Eagles get another first down, it's just going to eat more clock. So here we go. Tush push, the sequel. Oh, they moved! Oh, the Eagles jumped! Oh, that one was easy to see. Even the officials called that one. And that's going to move them back 5 yards. 4th and 6 now. And the Eagles will punt. So I would say, ELS, that answer is actually incorrect. I would say it's, if you're going to say the first president that we know of that actually pardoned the turkey, would be Harry Truman. But here's the other thing, too. The first president to formally use the word pardon for the turkey was 1987, although in that one he was just joking. It was not anything official. And then George H.W. Bush is the first one to do the annual ceremony of the actual pardoning of the turkey. With like the little certificate and everything like that, too. So there you go. So, yeah, nobody was right. 6:14 remaining in this game. Detroit's going to have 1st and 10 from the 15-yard line. They are down 2 possessions, 10 points. And the way this game has gone, this feels like this game is all but over. But we will see. So just also ELS, that's a good thing to tell the people wherever you got that trivia question from, that they can eat a big pile of learn your fucking history facts because they don't know shit. And not only that, but trying to say that that's something definitive is incorrect. Question 17 coming up here from ELS on this Sunday Night Football Trivia, brought to you by your good friend ELS. This is what happens to presidentially pardoned Thanksgiving turkeys. They get turned into turkey sausage, turkey bacon, turkey ground beef. I know that sounds weird, turkey ground, but you get ground meat, ground turkey. You make it into some taco meat. It's very good. Crafty in the chat says the Lions' offense has been terrible tonight. But that's what I mean. Look at the quarterback stats. It's on the screen. You guys have been able to see it all night. You see it. It's right there for you. Goff, 13 of 29, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, 228 yards. Jalen Hurts, 14 of 28 for $135, and a lot of that was on like one play that he threw it to Jahan Dotson down the field. Like, the fact of the matter is that even offensively, the Lions outperformed the Eagles, and it's just on the 4th down plays, on things like that. Like, they weren't able to finish drives. If they were able to get some of the, like, if you go back and look at some of the drives where they should have went for the field goal instead of going for it on 4th down, this game is not a 2-possession game, and it's not a 10-point game. Again, they might have missed a field goal, but you will assume, we'll work under the assumption that they make the field goals. So the Lions really have shot themselves in the foot in this game, and this is a game where I'm watching the game. Yeah, the Eagles' defense is nice. So is the Lions' defense, if we want to go by that. This is not a convincing game here for the Eagles. Irish in the chat says, like I said earlier, nobody leaves points on the board like big game Dan Campbell. And I agree. Like, again, he loves the 4th down plays. Incomplete pass on 1st and 10 for the Lions, 2nd and 10 from their own 15-yard line. Can they get something? They need. It's not can they get something. They need something desperately on this drive. Hell, even a field goal will be worthwhile. They got to get something going. Deflected pass. Again, he was getting pressured through, got deflected, almost intercepted, incomplete. 3rd and 10. And I know what you mean, but still, calling him Big Game Dan Campbell is not wholly incorrect either, because he does this he did this in the NFC Championship game against the Niners, where they lost that halftime lead that they had, and they just kind of lost it. He does that. He that is something he does. So 3rd and 10, Goff sits back, looks, has time, throws over the middle, caught Jameson Williams, and he gets to the 41, does the fucking spin-a-rooney for some reason, and then gets an extra yard after the spin-a-rooney for gets to the 42. Jesus Christ. It's like he forgot where he was. Throw throw. He was looking for Gibbs out of the backfield. Was Goff. Incomplete. 2nd and 10. NFC Championship. Yes, Irish. He says he drives me crazy with that. Cost them an NFC Championship. Again, that second half of that Niners game was horrible in watching how they imploded in that game. Goff looks, throws, batted down. Jalen Carter bats it down on 2nd and 10, 3rd and 10 now upcoming for the Lions. By the way, after being pardoned, the turkeys who are pardoned with the presidential pardon are sent to farms or sanctuaries such as the University of Minnesota or North Carolina State University's College of Agriculture, where they live out the rest of their lives. Historically, this has sometimes also been to a children's farm, but a university setting is more common now for their care and management. 3rd and 10. Goff's back, looks, throws, looking for Gibbs. He was getting pressured. It is incomplete. 4th and 10. 5:12 remaining. You got to go for it now. You don't have a choice because of all the other times you went for it on 4th down, Dan. Crafty says, ironically, that may be the closest Dan Campbell comes to a Super Bowl. Maybe, and that would be a shame, too, because I like Dan Campbell and I like the Lions. I really do. And I want to see the Lions do well. But, like, a game like this, it makes you upset. And the Lions are good. Now the Lions punt? Now they punt? I just... Yeah, no, ballet is good for your balance and for muscle memory and stretching, ligaments, all that shit. Yeah, you absolutely. If you're a football player, 1,000% do ballet. That's not, again, it's not that they suffer at universities or at the children's farms. None of that really happens. Nobody's suffering. They go to the agriculture schools where they teach kids, where they're teaching the students how to run farms and run things. It's not that they're sending them to be and locked. They're not doing experiments on the turkeys. That is not what's happening, ELS. No. They live full lives. They're good. Like, stop it. Irish is saying, I'm kicking myself right now for taking Barkley over Gibbs in the draft. I would have been unstoppable with Allen, Gibbs, JSN, and Puka. Instead, you have Barkley, and he's not had a great one. I disagree with that challenge. I challenge the challenge. I think that's a bad challenge. I don't think that's a correct challenge. I think that the turkeys do live out good lives, long, full lives at these agricultural universities. You're looking up from Farm Sanctuary, which is an anti-meat, anti-farm website. ELS, I already see that there. Farm Sanctuary. That's quote for quote what you posted, and that's incorrect. So 3rd and 1 for the Eagles. They do the tush push, and I don't think that got there. And that's going to be 4th down. And they stopped the tush push on 3rd and 1. Irish says, oh boy, ELS is a real NFL ref today. Yeah. Juergens is now heading to the locker room for the Eagles. By the way, 3 minutes remaining, and Philadelphia is going to use a timeout. No, you're looking at that's the problem, Crafty, is that you're looking for pardon turkey short lifespans. You're gonna get these like PETA groups that put that shit. And here we go, tush push, and they didn't get it. 4th and 1, and they didn't get it. The Lions stopped the tush push 2 times in a row. Holy shit! It's a Christmas miracle. Oh my God. Hey, Crafty, how about you Google just what happens to presidentially pardoned Thanksgiving turkeys? Look that up, and that tells you. The old double challenge. The old double challenge switcheroo from ELS. Don't fall for that anti-meat propaganda. Don't fall for those stupid hippies, Crafty. Don't fall for that nonsense. Farms are bad. Universities or farms are bad, man. Goff looks, throws. Again, he had Jameson Williams, but did not connect. 2:51 remaining. 2nd and 10. We got Grok. We've got Google's AI. You can look it up on anything, but it's not just the AI. It's the news articles. It's things like that. You have to trust the source. .251 from the 29. The Lion. Oh, Goff is going to get sacked. Oh, did he fumble? Nope, they're going to say he's down. He's down, but
too bad your ass got sacked.
clock is counting down now. We're at 2:12, 2:11, 2:10. Nobody's called a timeout yet. Goff back here on 3rd and 17. Throws and almost intercepted. And I think because of the sack, and they're back at the 36, that I don't know if they're comfortable with the field goal. Apparently not. And again, he was trying to go for St. Brown, and I don't think St. Brown's caught a pass in this game. And the Lions are going to go for it on 4th down. And the Eagles are going to take a timeout. That's their second one. Unbelievable. God, Philadelphia's got a lot of ugly people in it. Because he was looking at a biased news source, Crafty. You can't look at the biased news source. Oh, the Lions are going to go for a field goal here. Can they get it? Master Bates lines up. Snap. Hold. Kick is up, and that's going to be good. And so with 1:58 remaining, we've hit the 2-minute warning, and like that, the Lions have made this a 7-point game again. 16-9. They're probably going to have to go for an onside kick, although they do have all 3 timeouts. But that would mean 1 first down would end the game. Do the Lions trust themselves to do it? Go for the onside. If you don't get the onside, trust your defense to hold the Eagles. That's really what you got to do. And the ceremony, yeah, we went through that, Irish. We talked about how Harry Truman was the first one to pardon a turkey after he was given it to by the National Turkey Board, and made sure they didn't kill it. Kennedy did amongst the same things. Reagan was the first one to actually say the word pardon, although he meant it as a joke. And then it was George H.W. Bush in 1989 was the first one to actually have the presidential ceremony for pardoning the Thanksgiving turkey. So that was... Jimbo says this game is so boring right now. We're arguing over turkeys. Yes, it's a turkey shoot right now, ladies and gentlemen. So let's see what happens here on the kickoff. Lions could go for an onside, or they could kick it deep. It looks like they're going to kick it deep. That's it. 1 first down ends the game. That's it. 1 first down will end the game. Hits down in the end zone. Touchback. Eagles will get it at the 35. They're saying it's starting to rain in Philadelphia. Philadelphia. Of course I'm right. I'm always right, ELS. ELS knows I'm always right. Except when I'm wrong. In which case, then, 60% of the time, I'm right every time. 1st and 10 from the 35. 1:58 remaining in the game. The Eagles looking to put this game away. Snap. Handoff to Barkley. That's going to be a gain of 4 yards to the 39-yard line. Lions will take their first timeout. The Eagles have to gain 6 more yards to end the game. First down will end the game. ELS, don't get snippy, ELS. Stop it. Down, ELS. Down. Down, boy. Anybody knows, like, ELS gives off, like, he's a nice guy. He's just a good kid. He's just a good kid. But every now and then, ELS gives off. He's got a rage in him, man. ELS has got a rage in him. Hand off to Barkley, a gain of 2 yards. From Politico, that's hardly an unbiased source. Crafty, you're talking, but that's in general. We know they're farm-raised turkeys. It's not that their lifespan is shorter because of anything done to what your contention was, is that their lifespan is shorter because of them being at farms, at zoo, the children's petting zoos, or at the university agricultural centers. And that's not the case. The case of the matter is that they are farm-raised turkeys. So being farm-raised turkeys, they're going to have the lifespan of a farm-raised turkey, not a wild turkey, because they're not wild turkeys. It's basically a different fucking species. 3rd and 3 upcoming after the Lions have taken their second timeout. The Eagle. Oh, we got flags down. That might be offsides on the Eagles. Clock was not running, so there is no 10-second runoff. Fourteenth flag of the game. And we don't know, because here's the thing. They're saying, oh, well, farm turkeys don't live that long. But we don't know how long the presidentially pardoned turkeys have lived for. They're just guessing it based on the fact that they're farm-raised turkeys. They provided no information of what those specific turkeys, how long they lived. Throw does not hit A.J. Brown, incomplete, but they're going to throw a flag on an uncatchable ball? And the officials end the game for the Eagles. Oh, the officials come in and save the Eagles, and the game's over. The officials have ended the game. What? What? Even Collinsworth is losing his mind. That is what you call and decide the game on that? Unbelievably. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Fuck the refs hoodie and shirts available right now over at Stay Tuned Sports Merch Store, bit.ly/Stay Tuned Merch, bit.ly/Stay Tuned Merch. Link at the top of the chat and in the description below. Hoodie and shirt available. Oh, my God. That is the call you use to end. The officials have officially moved on from the Chiefs and are now sucking the Eagles' taint. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Yes, but Crafty, it's not because of anything that was done to those turkeys. That was your contention, that they live short lives because they get that. By the way, Detroit called their final timeout after that first down. It's now going to be 3rd down after that second down play. Only gets a yard. But again, the clock is ticking away here. Stop it, Jimbo. Stop. Boy, the refs just, I can't believe. I can't believe that. I honestly can't believe that. That is up there with one of the fact that an official called the game on that. Like I said, that looks like that. If anything, that's offensive pass interference on A.J. Brown. That comes from Ari Miroff there on My Sports Update, at My Sports Update on Twitter. Eagles take their final timeout. That is, even Fox is losing it. Fox Sports. Barstool losing its mind. Rightfully so. Unbelievable. 3rd and 8, 57 seconds remaining. I can't believe that. I can't believe that. Hand off to Barkley, and he's going to get the first down there. Lions should have had a chance here. Lions should have had a chance here with a timeout. The Lions should have had a chance with a timeout, and the refs absolutely fucked them. Unbelievable that you call that pass interference. And not only that, but defensive pass interference. If anything, it was offensive. That should have been just, you keep the flag in the pocket. You keep that flag in the pocket. That is what it is. Like, that's unbelievable. The Eagles are definitely not moving up in this one. Jalen Hurts, with maybe one of his worst games, the Eagles' offense looking terrible in this game. That's unbelievable. He says, let me guess, Eagles still... No, they're still going to be probably... I think the Broncos are going to jump the Eagles. If we're going to be honest, let's jump over. Let's take a look. The Eagles, I got it. Like, for now, I'm going to... Like, the Eagles have to stay where they are, if not drop down a spot. The Broncos will move up. The Lions will move down, because the Lions' offense was... They played well, but... Again, the Lions outgained the Eagles 317 yards to 272. Man, the third and fourth downs killed. 0 for 5 on fourth down. Like, that's just... Yeah, I'm going to jump over to the rubber room. We got to go ahead and rank our NFL games here. But, man, I got to tell you, unbelievable. Unbelievable that that's how the game ends. With the official making that call. Unbelievable. Crafty says Eagles beat the number 5 team but dropped down. Yeah. I'm sorry. No, did the Eagles deserve to win this game, Crafty? What part of this game said, oh boy, Eagles played a full 60 minutes? Hey, Crafty, this is why. You can make your own top 12. This is mine. This is my top 12. I make my top 12 the way I want to make my top 12. Same with my Booty Cheeks 5. I make my Booty Cheeks the same way I make all my... You want to make your booty cheeks the way you make your booty cheeks? You make your booty cheeks the way you make your booty cheeks. I make my top 12 the way I make my top 12. You want to make your top 12? You make your top 12 however you want to make your top 12. Crafty does say that, ladies and gentlemen, it's week 11. And in week 11, prepare for this, because Crafty has a very good point here. The Chicago Bears lead the NFC North. $2025, baby. 2025. I am crazy. Crazy says the part where they shut down the Loins offense all night. But that's not the the defense was good. And I don't think anybody's argued that the Eagles defense hasn't been good. Same with the Broncos. Broncos defense. Yeah, sure, they've been great. But the fact of the matter is the Broncos still only beat the Jets by 2 points in London. The Broncos beat the Raiders by 3 points on Thursday. And they had to have a last-second field goal to beat the Kansas City Chiefs today. A Chiefs team which I think we can all agree, not the best. They're not the best Chiefs teams we've seen. I think we can all say that. Not to mention they needed a miracle comeback to beat the Giants, a miracle comeback to beat this mediocre Eagles team. I'm just saying, there's a reason why I don't have those teams, despite their record, high up. Because, again, the power rankings isn't about record. The power rankings is about what do these teams look like? How do I feel these teams are? And I feel that they're not good. Irish says a win is a win, especially against a good team like the Lions. Sure, and that's what I mean. Some people might say, yeah, I'm going to put them up there. I think they're high because of what their record is, anything like that. And that's fine. But to me, power rank, if you're going to do that, then there's no point in having a power ranking. Because at that point, just put down what the standings are. Oh, there you go. This is what I think the power ranking is going to be because this team's 9-2 and this team's 7-3 or whatever the case is. Then do that. Then do that. But if you're actually going to look at this is what I see from these teams, this is what it looks like, this is how I feel these teams are performing, and how I either I think they are or not better or worse than I think some other teams, then that's where you can have your debate. That's where you have your power rankings. And that's why I like having my power rankings the way they are, because of this exact reason. We're having a little bit of a debate about it. And I like that. So that's going to be fun when I actually do release the list on the live countdown show. You guys can join in. Of course, if you're subscribed and you've hit the notification bell, you'll know when the countdown comes on, and we'll go over the list, and you guys can yell at me and curse me and say I got it all wrong. King, you don't know what you're talking about. You dumb, fat, bald bastard. You don't know what you're doing. And I can say, That's the fun of it, because that's my list. And you can tell me your list in the chat, and we'll go back and forth, and we will have so much fun. But until that day, it's time for me to get out of here. Thank you so much for joining us here on Stay Tuned Sports, watching Sunday Night Football, where the Eagles have defeated the Detroit Lions 16-9 in what was kind of really a boring-ass game. I think we can all be honest there. We started arguing about turkeys at the end of it. But thank you so much for joining us. If you liked any part of this, please go ahead and hit that like button. Share this channel around. Let the world know that we exist. And, of course, if you haven't yet, please hit that subscribe button. Get us on the road to 1,000 subscribers so we can go ahead and get monetized here on the YouTubes. If you want to help us out in a little bit more direct fashion, in the description below, we have a link for our donation station and our merch store. Lions fans, I have a feeling you're going to want this particular shirt. You can buy this shirt right now at that link for the merch store. Fuck the refs. It comes pre-pixelated, so you don't have to worry about offending your mother at Thanksgiving, but you should wear it for the Lions Thanksgiving game, just so you let everybody know how you feel about those officials right now. Fuck the refs. Hoodie and t-shirt, both available. bit.ly/staytunedmerch. Link is in the description below. So until tomorrow, Monday Night Football hitting us, ladies and gentlemen, the Cowboys and the Raiders. Strap in for that one, ladies and gentlemen. My name is King. This has been Stay Tuned Sports. Have a great rest of your Sunday evening.